the audio okay? This audio is blazing. I need to kill myself right now. Okay, we're going to start. I'm going to close this chat window. I'm going to leave the chat window open. Let me see what you guys are saying here. I don't have anyone. This is my Thanksgiving. I'm eating pizza. Thanks for the company. You're welcome, my man. All right. Here we go. I'm going to kill myself. I'm going to hurt myself on camera. Guys, did you know I hate myself and I'm going to kill myself? I hate myself. I want to die. I want to kill myself. I hate myself. I deserve pain and death. Kill me. How I survived high school. Folks, a lot of you ask me, you look at me as like a role model, okay? You say to yourselves, hey, how come Sam gets the hot girls and the cars and he's got a position in life that I'm envious of, okay? How come, what was this guy's deal in high school, right? You're looking at me saying to yourself, this guy's a nerd. How could he possibly be as cool as he is? He's obviously a nerd, all right? And so what I say to myself is basically, so the story that I relate to people is the story of how I survived high school. Basically, my formative years, okay? This is what got me, this is too much light. I need it more romantic. There we go. Very nice candles back there. That's nice. This is probably too much. This is cool, though. This is like cyberpunk. It's like it's a little robot. Put that right there. Put it right like that. There we go. It's getting hot in here.
Wow, those candles.
It's hot in here. Okay. It's getting kind of hot in here. Okay, let's start over here. We're gonna do okay. All right, here we go. How I survived high school. You know that old classic nightmare, the one everyone's had at least once? You know the drill by now. You wake up and wow, you're in class, but something's wrong. Holy cow, it's your pants! You're ordering! You're ordering your underbriefs. Either that or your most embarrassing pair of spandex pants. Maybe even all the pretty girls you like are there with front row seats, laughing up a giggle storm at your shorts. Everyone hates you. Why you? Why me? Why are they doing this? Why, oh why, did my mom forget to lay out my trousers this morning? Stupid mom. And then it stops. Then you wake up. Everything is A-okay, good, all clear, right on. You're in your nice warm bed, and your clothes, and yes, even your trousers, are arranged nicely and warmed up by your dear loving mother. You smell a delicious breakfast banquet wafting into your room from the kitchen. You know that old Dad is in the kitchen reading the yellow pages and making a sweet A-okay cup of classic mud. You will leave the house fully dressed, no doubt, and make it through the day with all of your classmate friends, buds, and pals, too. After class, maybe you'll walk home with some friends of yours by the side of the river, and they'll all compliment your style of trousers and undergarments and cool Japanese gadget attachments all over your overcoat. As the sun starts to set and you all part ways, heading home and waving goodbye and looking forward to another happy and formative day in high school, as you walk home, there's no longer a trace of that bad dream you had earlier. Well, for me, this is no silly dream. This was no night terror that I could simply have just waited out and woken up from into a warm blanket and a morning greeting and cheer. This was no load of baloney community college style self-help. I'm going to wake up mid-dream and take hold of the situation, dream diary kind of thing. This was my real everyday life. I was there in class, being held upside down by my classmates, totally pantsed, lobster red, whipped into a real sweat from embarrassment, as all my fellow classmates and my teacher pinched and prodded my feelings into a tizzy and dunked my head in a bucket of the brown stuff, chocolate milk. High school was more than a nightmare for me. Sam Hyde, I'm talking personally right now. It was something more like HE double hockey sticks. I was burned and seared by cool kids from the moment I stepped in the halls. Hot jocks sprayed extra sour super blue Raz Go-Gurt directly in my face as soon as that first bell tolled. Something was dreadfully wrong, but I was too busy getting stripped down to my skipper's pantaloons and dunked head first into every single toilet in a 5-mile radius to even stop and think. Welcome to my world, and boy is it a world of hurt. Is it not loud enough? Does it need to be louder? Do you want it louder? I can't hear it myself. You're saying fix it. It's too loud. Is it too loud? Too quiet. Yeah, turn it up louder. No, it sounds distorted. Make it louder. Turn it up. You want it louder? Alright. Alright, motherfucker. Oh, it is loud. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Is that better? Stop typing so much. Is that better? Too quiet? Is it better? It's good. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Good old Hilltop High, where the ruling class jocks and sensi, for short for sensually hot girls, lord over the social toilet. Hello? Hey. The mic's too loud. They were saying it was quiet. I thought they were joking. Are you saying it's too quiet or it's too loud? Okay. All right. Hey, you too. Enjoy. All right. Love you. Bye. Mike, you can turn that up if you want. All right. You turn it up a little bit more, actually. It's just comforting. Okay. Is the mic still on? Is it still going? It must be. The thing's still on. Okay. Good old Hilltop High, where the ruling class jocks and sensi, which is short for sensually hot, girls, lord over the social toilet. You got nerds, you got your no-life cybernauts, you got your ugly wimps, you got your crud for brains, you got super nerds, you got cyber lamos, you got super-duper bad at sports weaklings, you got weak-hearted wimplings, you got bug collector kids, you got leftover paper bag sack lunch dweebs, you have stupid kids, you have oatmeal raisin losers, you got failed goths, you got super zany troll experts, Facebook commentators, Zucker nerds, Facebook likers, kids who talk about how they don't have TV at home, kids who talk about how they listen to NPR at home, raised by anime, Goku freaks, lunchroom wanderers, toilet swimmers, toilet divers, kids with rashes, tween bumbler boys, trash heap garbage kids, prom clowns, prom jesters, lunchroom floor dweebs, snot-nosed idiots, runt scoundrel humble beggars, pump-happy iron pounders, rump-slumping bumble babies, badly dressed geek tards. Okay, these are the kids you had in my high school. Gothic-style proto-invaders, Zim trolls, classroom masturbators, classroom chameleons, California Raisins fans, raised by Tumblr kids, pantsless fools, and the list goes on, okay? And guess what? I literally fit into every category. So you can imagine what was going on. They were bonking me in the head, pretty much from bell to bell. I got the bell-to-bell treatment. So in the eyes of the social upper class at Hilltop High, I, Sam Hyde, am the most... Hello? Hello? Very nice. You called me and warned me about the audio. Okay. I'm the most undesirable and lame person to ever step foot in these halls. Okay? Even all the teachers, instructors, advisors, lunch ladies, janitors, disciplinary counselors, and coaches can't hide their outright hatred towards me. All right, that's how bad it was. There are numerous examples of this, but just to set the stage here one time, I was in homeroom, and the teacher, Mr. Jacket, was announcing our grades for our classes, and when it came to be my turn, Mr. Jacket... Hello? Hey. You what? Mr. Jacket had me stand in front of the classroom and proceeded to tell me that he was shocked I'd actually passed the class. He was actually proud of me for once, and maybe things were finally turning around for old Sam, academically speaking, that is. A spark of joy appeared on my face, and that was his signal. He punched me directly in the solar plexus and shrieked at the top of his lungs that I had failed, obviously, and took my grade sheet, crumpled it up, and made me eat it. This is a true story. Oh, brother! With all the wind knocked out of me and a large wet paper ball in my mouth, all I could do was loudly and pathetically groan in front of my dearest classmates, who, by the way, were all busy uploading photos of my embarrassing public failure to every social media site possible and laughing mercilessly. Dramatic, right? I had no idea what I had done to make them all hate me so much, but they clearly did. I guess it's pretty clear from that story that I didn't have the best of grades either. I don't really want to talk about it, but I would say it's a little bit more than that. I mean, didn't even know how to frickin' read until I was 15. I was that stupid. The trauma associated with seeing words on pages or anything else created a mental block that made reading super hard. I only eventually learned the skill of reading from comparing the lyrics I heard out loud in the songs to the words in the liner notes of all my Marilyn Manson albums, and from the word puzzles and fun games on the back of cereal boxes, and also my dad's yellow pages that he left all over the house. Gotta love Dad and his yellow pages. Oh boy. Good thing old Dad collected those yellow pages. In school, though everyone noticed how weird and melodramatic and also incorrect my grammar was, I got pounded even more. I recall a particularly dark moment when I was in English 101 class, which I failed and had to redo, and the teacher, Mrs. Tance, said it was my turn to read aloud from the textbook. It was really lame and boring basic English stuff that I didn't even understand anyway. You know, textbook stuff. So as I thought I might spice things up a little bit, and that would be cool, and my classmates would think it was awesome and cool if I added my own spin to some of the writing. So I added words like Gilgamesh and black steel-rimmed helm, Lucifer X, and two-handed crimson broadsword. To my surprise, everyone burst out laughing at me, and I got seriously pantsed that day by everyone in the classroom, including the security guards. I have no idea what I did wrong. I thought maybe it was all of their faults. They just didn't realize how cool the words were that I was using. Yeah, that's it, right over their heads. But I was starting to realize that maybe I was missing something. Other than my pants, for once. Speaking of my pants, I guess I should mention my looks and the way I dressed. Well, suffice it to say, I looked like a total freak! I looked like 80 different social outcasts. each with their own unique clown uniform, were vying for control of my daily clothes and style. Since I was so socially unconscious and unaware, I wore army green combat boots with huge extended tongue flaps and 4-inch modded maxed out metal spike attachments randomly affixed around them, combined with full heavy cloak style camouflage fatigues and a huge custom chrome arm gauntlet on one day, and a holographic gangster Tiny Toons t-shirt with blue tarp cut into rudimentary form of pants on another day. My dad was an employee for the city as a garbage man, so whenever he got off work, he let me dig through his haul for the day to see if there was anything that tickled my fancy or floated my boat, usually clothes, so I built an extensive collection that way. No matter how I tried to, let me see, hold on a second. How's everything going? I gotta ban this dude. This guy's not funny. Alright, stop typing all this shit. You're idiots. This chat's terrible. Alright, stop typing all this crap. This is annoying. Okay. Alright, back to my story, okay? Telling you guys how I survived high school here. This is important because this is how you're going to survive high school. So no matter how I tried, though my outfits never impressed the way I imagined as I put together my get-ups. Try as you may, that garbage smell is hard to get out of my custom Yami Yugi Yu-Gi-Oh! Printed crop top, drop crotch bundled pantsuit. It just wasn't the same when it was covered in unwashable lasagna stains. My mother was a housewife with little to do except watch a whole shitload of TV, organize and arrange my dad's Yellow Pages archives, and clean the house, so he gave me lots of cool fashion tips and helped me mend together all of my dad's junk and also trash he got for me. So my weekends in high school were typically broken down like this, okay? Friday, I come rushing home after school, and my dad would take his industrial garbage washing hose and spray me down in the front yard to get all the Go-Gurt and mayonnaise and all the other heavy creams and sauces my classmates and teachers doused me with in school hours. Of course, I would lie and tell Dad that I was a messy eater. Whoops, or today was food fight day, Dad. I didn't get bullied. It's just food fight day at school. And he would just shake his head and spray away. And then I would go inside and pretend to do my homework. Now, the process of pretending to do my homework or late work or makeup work ended up taking much more time and effort than actually just doing it in the first place. I would go into my room, and I'd put up my Scooby Dog Do Not Disturb poster on my door so that my mom wouldn't bother me. And I'd put on studying music, which was actually part of a playlist of very low-quality MP3 files downloaded off of LimeWire from searching classical music song. I would do this to cover up the sound of what I was really doing, which was strictly regimented daily jelqing to increase the size of my member. Jelqing is an ancient language word for milk growth and is a secret stretching and strengthening tactic I discovered through deep web bodyguard tips and tricks and muscle shock jock web boards. It's a very painful and loud process, especially at the super small size that I was starting at. In order to begin the jelqing process, I had to lay face up on the floor and turn off all the lights. Then I would undress. Then comes the stretching, just like stretching anything else except on a near microscopic level. I remember in the early days of jelqing, I would have to bite down on a big pink eraser so as to hold back the screams and manage the pain of it. I got used to it after a while, though, and now I was an advanced jelq artist by my senior year. I always made sure to be extra careful, however, because I had read a thread on a website when I first started jelqing that a super jelker named Hypno Man jelked himself past the critical zone and edged off the brink, and it caused severe lacerations and varying other degrees of damages. He posted later on about the jelqing arts and how they'd ruined his life, and how he was now entirely without a P-zone, and had just totally non-jelkable flatland at that point. So after the milking process was complete, I would come out of my room and tell my mom how I think I was getting better at homework and at school, and that all my teachers were saying they saw a major improvement in me. Big lie. Mom would congratulate me. Mom would congratulate me and give me a lot of sweet candy and treats, which was a problem because at this point I was starting to pack on the weight. And I ate the candy as intense after heat subsided in the jelqing regions. We would then sit together, me and my mom, in front of the big screen TV and have TV time by watching the big screen TV with my mom. Sometimes during TV time, my dad would come in and drop majorly large loads of garbage and trash for my mom and I to sort through while we watched TV on the big screen. Then we would all gather around the table in the kitchen for dinner and eat the usual round of clams with heavy sauce. My favorite meal, clams with heavy sauce. My mom would lead us in saying grace, and when our heads were lowered, I would always secretly ask God, G-O-D, if they would increase the size of my private zone jelqing regime to 18 inches, and also if they could make me an all-powerful sexual master who had sex with any girl I wanted, and increase the amount of party hats I had in my bank account on RuneScape, so I could be a legendary gamer fiend and beat up anyone I wanted. Saturday was my only solace. Sunday, I had to go see my private tutor, who I hated, so I basically counted Sunday as a school day, too. And so I would learn to make the most out of every Saturday. I would set my alarm Friday night to 5 a.m., wake up, and secretly leave the house after a smaller jelqing/edging period. This was the only time of day of any day of the week that I felt vaguely good. In the early morning light and fog, I felt hidden and safe. I felt like Count Vampire or an important secret agent that no one could see, and I could safely do my work. You see, I only had one thing going for light and fog. I felt hidden and safe. I felt like Count Vampire or an important secret agent that no one could see, and I could safely do my work. You see, I only had one thing going for me, but it was my only hope. On my 16th birthday, my dad got me a soiled and hardly operational leather exterior Geo Metro starter car, which he picked up from the junkyard. For the first couple of months, I drove it to school, but shortly after the school street racing and drifting club figured out it was my car. They broke into it while I was in homeroom and dumped in it and removed all functional vital parts for it to work. And so I had to push it all the way home as they drove around in circles and whipped me from out the windows. After that day, I kept it in my dad's shed, and on Saturday mornings, my special time would come, and I would work on it from scratch, rebuilding it. Any and all parts I could salvage from the heaps of car parts my dad would bring home, I would look up on a secret Korean language website, Deep Web DIY custom street racing car forum that I ran through as a translator and modded on my car, and eventually formed a trash heap amalgamation that vaguely resembled a 14-year-old DeviantArt upload manga-style drawing of a human car hybrid. It still didn't run, of course, but someday it will, and it will seriously blow away all of my friends at school, and also all the bullies and anyone who was mean to me, and they will all like me, and I will do a big burnout in the baseball field, and zoom off and look really cool, because the turf in the field will have erupted into flames, and the coach, who was always mean to me, will get burned really badly, and I'll hit a home run, and my car will be super fast. Then the whole school will try to straight race me with their lesser cars, and I will outspeed them and cause them all to spin out from bewilderment and smokescreen confusion, and all the roads will be mine. Racer Boy is what they'll call me. They won't ever call me dog breath or hot-headed wiener ever again. Racer Boy will get all the girls, and Racer Boy will show no mercy to those who treated him like a half-slug, half-idiot in his past life. Racer Boy. Spending weeknights speeding along the coast, wheel in hand, girl in arm, big cigarette on my lip, pedal to the metal, doing an 80-foot launch plus 27 full rotation front flip off the cliffside. As I polished the front end of the car to shine up the bright orange skirtless Goku decal, I was totally lost in my own world. This was when I was truly happy. Whims of fancy and fantasy tickled my imagination, and wisps of hopeful joy abound as I was lost in Goku's eyes. That's what I named the car. I winked at the car and let out a lot of hot gas really loudly. That was usually it for my Saturday morning garage work, and it lasted a long time. As soon as the sun would rise, no one could know about my work in the garage, so I threw a tarp over the car and blew a single kiss to it as I closed the door. There behind that door lay my one golden ticket out of that place. This is fucking tough. I hadn't read the story yet. It's like 40 pages long. Sorry. Alright. I'm just gonna cut to the ending here. Oh man. This is so thick. Do you guys like this? I haven't read the thing.
There's a really good race scene.
There's a good race scene in it. Ah!
It's where it gets better. Come on.
Alright. Fuck, man. Faggot456, you're killing me. In the chat, man. You gotta stop typing things. Alright. This is really tough. It's like, we're not even a third of the way through. You guys, I'm sorry, I think it's blown. It's blown here. Oh my god. I gotta fuck, man. Chat is making me have a panic attack. Oh. Hey, if you want to see the Mike Brown stand up, which is not racist. I'm not a racist. It's not bad. You're gonna like it. It's funny. And it's definitely not racist. But you gotta complain to YouTube. You gotta message them on Facebook and look at the post by the $1 million stream page and those YouTube email addresses. Please write legal at youtube.com, appeal@youtube.com, and press at youtube.com, and copyright also. Write to them. Do that, because it's a really funny stand-up, and I did get yelled at, and they were screaming at me to get up the stage. It was pretty interesting to see. So write to those people. Story sucks. I'm sorry. It doesn't suck. It sucks. I can't read this. I think that's it. I'm sorry to let you guys down, but this is too tough. All right. That's it. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'll be back soon. We do have We have Smokane 3, which we shot on a Red camera. We have a bunch of stuff that we shot for Adult Swim that's going up on their website. We have that band, the Pussy, the Kids 6 and Against Forever. We got a bunch of new videos. We have no place to post them. Get the fucking YouTube channel back, please. I'm begging you. Fucking retards. Ugh. Alright, anyway, happy Thanksgiving. Hope you're not too lonely out there. Sorry I couldn't deliver with a good story. This thing, and it's not funny. But, that's it. Bye.
Thursday. Colt,
hey, I gotta make some moderators in this chat. It's really bothering me that
rate, review,
you people are
subscribe
watching
on iTunes, tell
and
a
posting
friend via
little
social media, or via
emoticons.
email, or via mouth,
Like, you're
or
fucking
via however
retarded.
you gotta do it, a text message.
I want to kill you.
That's
I
fine.
want your.
Or if you got a couple of bucks in your pocket,
die.
and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit more in the
right.
opening. Head on over to coltmerch.com
and
digitalcolt.com. T-shirts, buttons,
chat.
pictures, posters, DVDs, digital downloads.
Hey. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm 5'8". I'm 5'8", in case anybody's wondering, for real. All right, back to the story. Is the do I have to reset the microphone now? 2014. Come on. All right, so back to my story. High school. My power region began to grow immensely around this time. The stretching and tearing and then healing period method of jelqing that I had moved on to was working. I had shot up from 1 or less inches to easily 6 or 7, and the scars along the way were proof that this was all thanks to the jelqing. I sometimes thought that the scars were bad because they didn't look like they would ever heal, and then I realized they were proof of my progress and of my drive to go on, and any girl who looked at it would understand that and know that they were honorable and symbolic, and also she wouldn't care because it would be so big that she would totally freak out anyway. Fantasy like this helped me get by as usual and made progress seem to just zoom by. Pretty soon I was elected to be one of the moderators on the main jelqing board I posted on, jelq or bejelqed.com. And I reigned supreme. I gave tons of advice to starter jelqers like I had been just last year, and told them that I was the ultimate vision of success and proof of the power of jelqing off. About half the way through sophomore year, I developed my own unique variation on the tearing and healing method, which involved consumption of an all-dairy superfood diet and self-induced numbing of the region, and then more ferocious stretching and tearing. The method, which I called Super Rip and Repeat System, had soon enough gained enough reputation and was proven to work as a highly advanced method. My adherents on the board took my word as the word of a jelqing god and strictly followed my instruction, and this power was the first time in my life that I felt truly in control. Even better than that, though, was knowing that I was helping people like me who needed help like this, who needed a positive force in their lives and a guiding hand to slice up their private parts and stretch it out to unthinkable lengths. I was forcing the hand of nature, and in some ways had literally become a god. When people pulled through the absolute pain and saw the results, they were forever indebted and swore loyal allegiance to me. Soon enough, I was the top mod and board master. I banned whoever I pleased and challenged anyone to find a method which gave better results than mine, all the while practicing it myself and gaining lengths up to 10 inches after a while. The car was nearing completion as well. It now bore no resemblance whatsoever to its previous form and looked more like a massive aerodynamically designed pile of chrome mods, parts, and add-ons. The only thing left to do was to get it into driving condition and test the souped-up bad boy out on the wild, wild road. The pieces all fit together, and each had a special purpose. I had a horizontal slat lateral louvers, extreme negative front and rear wheel camber, a 7-story stacked spoiler which would force down even the highest of egos, scoops, layered wings, custom mirrored chrome gel body kit, molded Damascus steel folded front end, advanced junk forged intercooler system, cream injected supercharged bi-turbo, a supercharger, a lift kit, black bowling ball rolling coal exhaust system, side-mounted cooling rad. The car would basically do nothing but drift at unbelievable speeds and blast thick black smog as soon as the ignition was turned. I just couldn't get the damn thing to work yet. I knew I was missing that one vital thing. Until one day, when I was working under the hood while drinking a boiling hot cup of Mountain Dew, I tripped on an extension cord on the ground and spilled my dew all over the interior of the hood. Suddenly, the car began buzzing louder and louder, heating up until it was burning to the touch. I screamed and backed away slowly, pouring sweat. My pipe fell to the ground. The dew worked its way deeper and deeper into the mechanisms and interlocking parts, creating a superconductive electrolyte energy bond that created a massive current of heat and electricity between all the parts and pieces. On a hunch, I reached in to pour some gas on the side, but the exterior heat singed my fingers immediately. I put on thick leather gloves and opened the fuel door and poured in the gas. Now I just needed to find a way to safely get inside the car, so I ran back home and woke my mom up and told her I needed some kind of heat-resistant suit. Hours later, she finished the suit, a skin-tight, thick-layered, interwoven burlap one-piece bodysuit. Thanks, Mom. Racing back to the shed, I could feel the heat level rising, so I popped on the form-fitting suit as quickly as I could. Upon entering the shed, the energy level was palpable, and the car wasn't even on yet. I pried open the massive door and turned the ignition. Bam! I don't know how much time had passed since I turned the key, but I had just come to. It seems though the energy unleashed from the engine starting for the first time created a massive shockwave that knocked me out instantly. I looked out the window of the shed from inside the car and noticed people lying face first on the sidewalk. It got them too! This was the single most joyous moment of my life. Looking back at it, it was then that my true potential had fully been unlocked. It was as if taking that key and turning the ignition symbolically activated a spiritual hand within my body that turned my own ignition simultaneously, my own hidden spiritual ignition. It was like unlocking a ghost made of pure infinite power inside my greasy, weak body. I have multiple theories as to what happened, but most probable, I think, is the fact that the shockwave traveled directly into me as a complete circuit, since I was sitting in a fully metal interior and exterior vehicle and supercharged my own body with one pulse of potent direct juice. Physically, I was the same, but something, perhaps mentally, felt unlocked. The car was still running from when I was KO'd, and so I was feeling woozy and as well from the contained gas fumes. I knew I would surely die soon unless I clicked the garage door open, but I had no idea what would happen if I did that, let alone touch the gas pedal. I thought for a moment and realized I had nothing to live for, and it wouldn't bother me very much if I died or hurt someone, so I did both. The garage door creaked open and the black fumes were let loose. They sprayed outside in all directions, seeping from the opening. I changed gears and pressed down on the gas pedal, and it all became like a dream. Everything was a blur and in slow motion at the same time. It was like I was in no control, yet at the same time in total control for the first time ever. Upon starting up, I burned out in the garage, and it immediately imploded upon itself, exploding in blue flames. The car torqued nearly vertically as it burst out through the garage door, destroying the remaining foundation on impact. All I could hear at this point was a single high-pitched tone ringing in both ears. The sonic boom had caused serious damage to my inner ear. The car drifted out of the lot, and into the street instantly, eradicating 3 cop cars that happened to be nearby. I looked in the cars as I passed, and I saw in slow motion their skin shooting off and disintegrating into ash. One of them reached for his gun, but it imploded upon being raised and was heat fused to his hands before being totally obliterated. I drifted through the entire city in less than 15 minutes, yet to me, time moved in an unreal, dreamlike way. It all happened so fast that to every other person in the city that no one even noticed it happened. On the way home, I took the car and vertically drifted through the baseball diamond at my school. It was all happening just like my fantasy. I looked back in the rearview mirror as I blazed past the school, and I saw the field was engulfed in giant flames. Monday was going to be different. This time, I would be driving to school. When I got home, I hopped out of the car and tossed the burlap suit aside. The car was parked back right where it had been, except now there was no shed, just embers and wreckage. I had to have some way to cover the car from thieves and from my classmates, so I tried tossing the tarp over it. Big mistake. The tarp melted off right away, and the toxic fumes caused me to pass out right away. When I regained consciousness, I noticed the problem had solved itself. The afterheat that the car retained from the cool-off period had caused it to sink into the malleable soil that was underneath the shed. It had hit a rock layer deeper in the sediment that could retain the car. It was now cool enough so I could bury the car back up and keep it totally hidden. After the long shoveling process, I went inside. It was getting late, and so I got in bed and tried to get some rest before I had to go to tutoring the next day. As I lay in bed, I slept easily for the first time in my life, knowing that the instrument of all my enemies' deaths was buried deep in my backyard, dormant until Monday and sleeping like a beast, ready to be unleashed at any moment. The Sunday tutoring session was hard to get through. I couldn't stop thinking about my cool car and all the cool tricks I could pull with it and stunts that I would do. I kept going through my plan and rethinking it and getting it down perfect, how I was going to kill everybody at school. I knew that the tutoring was important too, though, because if I was going to make my complete transformation, I would have to get good grades. But it was just so hard with such a sweet ride begging to be dug up and drifted. Suddenly, bang! My tutor slapped me across the face. "Pay attention, you snot-nosed dreaming brat." What a jerk. I decided to buckle down, though, and give studying my full attention. The time went by way faster if I forgot about anything else but the lessons. And when the session finally ended, I thanked my tutor, showed him the door, and bolted back to my room to practice Dota until Monday morning. Be right back. All right. So after my tutoring session, the next day, around 6 a.m., I finally powered down my computer. School was going to start in 2 hours, and so I had little time to excavate the car before no one saw me. I secretly rushed out the back door, making sure to put on my big burlap bodysuit. I took the shovel, which I buried in a shallow hole next to the car, and started to dig up the light soil. I could feel the warmth. I could feel the warmth of the soil, so I knew I was on the right track. About an hour or so passed, and finally I struck gold. There she was. I pushed away the rest of the soil from the surface of the car and pulled the key out of the secret inside pocket of the suit. Carefully, I opened the door, got inside, and put the key in the ignition. A massive vibration resonated, and all of the dirt was flung off of the windshield surface. I turned the headlights on, turned the key, and pressed on the gas. Next thing I know, the car shoots through the wall of the deep hole and bores through the dirt at a 45-degree angle upwards, out onto the street. The superheated exterior combined with the sheer speed caused the soil to become fluid. so the car easily passed through up to the surface. Back on the road, I managed to actually take some control of the car this time, other than just steering in the direction of the drift. I was slowly getting the hang of it. Inside, there was simple two-seater interior, but with a highly advanced dash and driver area. It looked similar to the interior of a small single-passenger jet or a submarine with levers and meters and gauges spinning wildly left and right. This time on the way to school, I took some time to check everyone and try to check every one of them and try to understand their purpose. By the time I was approaching Hilltop High, I was feeling even more confident in my driving ability. Seeing Hilltop High on the horizon, I turned and countersteered while ripping the handbrake and did a major drift sideways into the parking lot of the school. It was 8:05 and the first bell had rung. Everyone was walking into the building when I made my entrance. The parking lot rumbled and gravel shook loose and whipped up in small pebbles, tornadoes of asphalt, flinging them through the air. Everyone ducked for cover as the shockwaves of hot and cold air flew out from my car as I turned off the engine. All of the inter and outer cooling systems were on full blast, and the exterior froze into a solid ice sheet and instantly melted into flames every second. A wind vortex formed and messed up everyone's clothes and hair as I opened the door and stepped out, backlit in my burlap suit so no one could see who on earth I could have been. I slowly stepped out of the suit and put it in my backpack, closed and locked the door of the car, and stepped onto the walkway before the main entrance to the school. Everyone now saw who it was that stood before them. Disbelief was so thick in the air, it was almost physical. All of the nerds and other twerps fainted upon seeing me. The ultimate loser, me, as the one who rode in on this unbelievably high and turbo-injected horse. I don't believe it. No way. Impossible. It couldn't be. Skinner stepped forward and rolled up his sleeves. There's no way a lame nerd like you has a car. Like that? You must have stolen that. Or what? I yelled back. Skinner ran over to me and toppled me over with one punch to my head. Heh, souped up car or not, you're still a weak little nerd. Skinner signaled to his goons to go over and key my car and spray graffiti all over it. I wouldn't do that if I were you, I said, but it was too late. His men had immediately collapsed upon getting near to the car. The fumes and heat on their bare skin and non-protective clothes proved too much and they passed out, much like I had when I first started up the car. When they came to, they couldn't speak anymore and had permanent vacant look to their eyes. Skinner was furious. You're gonna pay for this. You're gonna pay good. He glanced over his shoulder back into the audience and nodded at the drifting and street racing club. The leader of the club came to Skinner's side. He looked me dead in the eye. His bleached yellow tips reflected the sun into my eyes. His ultra-round black sunglasses showed my own horrified face back at me as he smirked and said, today, after class, 3:30, here, in the parking lot, be here, or we will beat the effing S out of you and jack up your car. What for? I said. He turned and walked into the building before closing the door behind him. He uttered, we'll race, racer boy. Throughout the school day, I was not worried in the slightest about losing to the leader of the street racing and drifting club, or any of his club members for that matter. In fact, I looked forward to it with joy. I had been waiting for a moment like this for a long time. This had the potential to be the moment in my high school social life where everything turns around completely. Winning this race would mark the first time I'd ever won anything in my entire life. Okay, and hopefully it would prove to everyone that I was a force to be reckoned with and a really cool guy with the best car in Hilltop High. I was already noticing some changes going on in class around me. No one dared look me in the eyes, and everyone was whispering when I walked past. No girls screamed at me or even pushed me onto the ground, and no bullies tried anything either. I had made an impression, sure, but people were saving their judgment until this afternoon's race. I saw teachers placing bets against me left and right, and I saw students getting ready to kill me when I lost the race. During math class, I looked out the window which faced the parking lot. I saw a group of students who had skipped class to get a better look at my car. They didn't have my suit though, and the cooling period lasted over 5 hours, so they couldn't get near enough for me to be worried about anything. They could only stand at a safe distance and try to make out through the heat waves what my car was actually packing. I saw one kid actually fashion a weak little safety suit out of the other kid's sweaters, overalls, and jackets. Everyone was gathered around him when he moved slowly closer to my car. He didn't get far though before the pieces of clothes were singed off layer by layer, and he got badly burned. Everyone then beat him up for ruining their clothes and lost interest and left. I was really glad to see my car causing this much distress and fearful curiosity among the students, and was getting ready to burn them all in a high-stakes race that would solidify my place as the best racer in all of Hilltop High. Suddenly, I snapped back to reality, and my math teacher, Mrs. Fern, was looming over my desk. "You may have a fast car that inflicts pain onto anyone except you, but you still can't even solve basic addition and subtraction problems," she said as she pulled my hair and smacked me right across the face. She was right. She was right. I really needed to not let my success in one part of my plan impede on the rest. I remembered some of the things I had learned during my tutoring session the day before, and got my head back into the classroom mode, out of the fiery throne was the driver's seat of my dreams. The final bell rung and I approached the parking lot. There was already a huge crowd gathered. I slipped the protective suit on and pushed my way through the lineup of drifters. There were 6 of the top racers and drifters from the club, lined up next to their lamely souped up and overly flashy cars. In the front was the club leader who had challenged me in the morning. "About time you showed up. Thought we were going to have to find you hiding and whip you and break your car like we did last time." I just chuckled and said, "You ready?" really calmly and super cool. "Not so fast," he exclaimed. "First we got a wager on this here race. How about, let's see. Winner takes the loser's car keys and all of their money and gets to beat the hell out of the loser. How's that sound?" "Guess what? You have no choice anyway." He pushed me back and told me to get in my car and meet around by the back of the school facing the road. I got in the car, turned the key. Blam! Everyone burst backwards, and the crowd ran back as I skidded out and sprayed dirt and gravel from the wheels all over everyone. I was at the starting line in mere milliseconds. The noise of all our revving engines and the sonic boom caused by my engine alerted all of the local news crews, and before long there was full angle coverage of the whole mapped out race. The school principal came outside and made a shake on the deal, and I realized he realized this was probably a good time to get me expelled, and a new add-on to the wager was made that the loser also had to drop out. It seemed like everyone was betting against me, and the odds were sure stacked against my favor. It was me versus 6 of them. If any one of the drifting and street racing club won the race, that would mean I was the loser, and I would have to abide by the wager. Everything was resting on this race. Do you understand? I had faith in my innate street racing ability and the sheer power of my car, though. I knew it was going to be a good race. The announcer shouted into the microphone, "The race will begin in 5 minutes!" And a DJ played top-tuned dubstep tunes as I watched from my driver's seat as the other racers all made their last-minute adjustments and tweaks and turbo injections with syringes. I reviewed everything I had learned over the last couple of days. All the gauges, all the levers and meters and LED display monitors, they were all aligned and in order. I checked to make sure everything was still in full effect and up to the test. It all seemed ready. Okay? I had a small inkling in my head that since the street racing club would stop at nothing to win this race, it was highly possible that they would try to cheat in some way while out on the road. So I prepped myself and my reflexes for anything. I peed in my pants and let out all the gas I had stored up to cleanse myself, and I was ready to go. The city had closed down the entire city roadway to make room for our race, and it was time to begin it. The announcer declared the participants. On the left side is the home team, Hilltop High's very own Drifting and Street Racing Club. The crowd erupted in praise and cheer. And on the right, we have the biggest loser to ever attend Hilltop High and his huge pile of metal junk with wheels. Everyone booed and threw garbage and rocks at my car, which immediately turned to ash the second it entered the heat field. On your marks, the engines rev. Get set. We took our handbrakes off. Go! My car spins to the left the instant the go is called and destroys 3 of the opposing racers' cars. The remaining cars and I burn out and shoot off down the open road. I was far ahead of the racer club leader and his crew, but I saw a problem. Coming up down the street was a major 90-degree angle left turn. At the rate I was drifting at, I would never be able to hang that turn and not hit buildings off the street. I had to think and act fast. I quickly let go of the gas and let one of the remaining 3 cars pass me. When it got close to the turn, I stepped on the gas and drifted directly into the car, sending it flying off the street and into the buildings, but allowing my car to ricochet off the impact and fling around the corner and stabilize into a nice glide down the road. I looked in my rearview mirror and smirked at myself 8 times as the flames rose from the collapsed building and wrecked car. The trick had worked. I managed to keep my speed in my place ahead, and I knocked out one of their cars. Only 2 more to go. While lost in my thoughts, I failed to see the other 2 cars shoot up on my left and right sides. They both simultaneously strafed into my stacked wings and tore them badly. My aerodynamic boosts were severely wounded, but I increased speed and did a 180 backdrift out of their trap and spun out directly towards one of the cars. The friction of my car T-boning into the other at such high speeds created a shockwave that took out power for a whole hour in the city. My car heat sliced directly through the other and shot ahead. Only about 10 minutes had gone by, but we had almost fully circumnavigated the city. The last stretch before the school was coming ahead. So I glanced into the windshield of the other car, which was neck and neck to me, and I saw that it was the club leader himself, not a scratch on his whip. He had sacrificed all 5 of the other club members to ensure his own victory against me. He had used them just to get ahead, just as I had. I wasn't worried, though, as my car had built up enough natural drift flow that he couldn't possibly match pace with me. I scorched on by his measly whip, and in a slow-motion state, I noticed he had something in his hand that was not on the wheel. It looked like it was a Glock. He brandished the red-hot Glock, and in one fell swoop drew it out of his window and sprayed ammunition on my car. The bullets scattered left and right off my back bumper, but a few lodged themselves into the thick steel exoskeleton. "Oh, shoot," I said, and he yelled out his window that he was going to kill me, destroy my car, and take all of my money, and I would die without ever having had a girlfriend or escaping high school, and he would win and be the best racer drifter of all time. The bullets sprayed around in suspended animation as we drifted around corners and sped back to the school. My hyper-fast Giga Whip was getting damaged, and if one of the bullets hit my wheel, I would be screwed. Just at that moment, the back right wheel caught a bullet and started spraying air, and the rim began spinning on the concrete, creating a trail of fire behind us. I thought fast. What could I possibly do, though? Under the passenger seat, I remembered I had put a bottle of my favorite lemon chocolate cherry red Raz extra sour Powerade, and remembered how I once spilled some of that stuff on the and refused to clean it, and the whole stovetop caught fire and erupted in flames. This stuff is super flammable. the opposite to my juiced rival Gatorade, which contains mainly fire retardants and would easily quench any fire. The Powerade sprayed from my grip out of the window and flew behind onto the club leader's car, completely drenching it. Once it was thoroughly soaked, I pivoted the negatively tilted rim towards his car by drifting in that direction while remaining sliding forwards towards the finish line. The trail of sparks and fire coming from my rim caught onto the flammable Powerade-drenched car of my rival, and it blazed a crimson-red cherry extra sour flame out. The blast from the juice fire propelled my car even further, and both our cars tumbled through the finish line, mine in front, making me the winner. The wreck and fire crew that was standing by at the finish line ran up to the club leader's upturned, flaming car. "We had a juice fire! Everybody stand back! Juice fire! Looks like it could be Powerade!" Pow! The firefighters knew their stuff, and so they quickly doused the killer Sour Raz flames with globs of glazed honey Raz mustard barbecue sauce and cleaned the wrecked and seasoned beyond recognition mess in order to pry open the door. They pulled the club leader's body out and laid his limp bod onto the concrete sidewalk. As they removed his facial guard, racer goggles, they revealed to everyone's horror that his face was glowingly bright Raz red. A drifting, specialized paramedic examined the leader. Looks like a combination of extreme G-force blunt psychic trauma and red Raz overload. A typical yet tragic racer's end. He's dead. He's fucking dead. My car was really, really fast, so it was no big shocker that I was the winner of the race. It was a big shocker, however, that the racing club leader had died, and that I was partly or even mostly responsible for his insanely painful Speed Fiend-related death. I took my victory in stride anyway and turned to face the aghast crowd. There was no denying it. Every single person in that crowd and everyone who watched the race knew it. I had won. I was the winner. For the first time in the world, I was viewed as something other than the most dire loser of all time. And in fact, I was rightfully a winner. I glanced behind me at all the destruction the racers and I had caused to the city. Town Hall was utterly demolished. The local bowling alley was totally ripped in half. Residential homes were covered in soot and ash that was kicked up from the burning rubber and pavement. And every car and truck that had been parked on the side of the road was squashed up and wrecked beyond belief, and the pavement on the street was shredded up, making it look like a large earthquake had just ripped through the city and obliterated in mere seconds, which is actually very similar to what we had done and what had happened. The speeds we were traveling at looked on film like streaks of light, kind of similar how Sonic and Knuckles would look if they tore through in Chaos Emerald mode. All you could really see was the aftermath of destruction occur immediately after our cars passed by. My car could contend with the forces of nature, just as devastating and beautiful. The cold yet flaming hot chrome glistened amongst the wreckage, and it looked like silent lightning, except with Chucky from Rugrats fighting I looked back at my audience and started screaming a high-pitched tone which resonated and echoed between the buildings and through the crowd. The principal slowly walked up to me as I hollered and handed me my winner's medallion and shook my hand for the cameras as he announced me the winner. At first there was total silence from the audience, especially the Hilltop High residents. No one could have possibly expected this outcome except for me. But slowly, one by one, every person in the audience began loudly shrieking at the top of their lungs. Piercingly high-pitched shrieks and clapping filled the air. As the sound grew louder, I hopped on top of my ride, my protective bodysuit allowing me to do so despite the radiating heat waves, and held the medallion up to the sky. To the crowd, it must have looked like I was showing it off to them, but really I was holding it and closing one eye so that in my vision it looked like it was a huge meteorite that was about to come and crush the whole city and kill everyone in the high school. I was the new king. On my return to school the next day, everyone grew quiet as I pulled up. Some of the lower-level nerds had erected a shrine to me in my car. Nice, I said. I was practically worshipped by all the nerds now who used to be leagues ahead of me, The teachers who had lost a lot of money from betting against me, and most of them were pretty mad at me, and even said they were going to knock the crap out of my car and make me a loser again. But when they ran up to my car, as they entered into the electrical field and got blasted 18 feet high into the air from static resistance, they thought twice. The most popular kids all whispered that I was a murderer and that I had cheated, but the general consensus of Hilltop High was that I was now the school's hottest rod racer, and that I had to be properly respected as that. I was challenged by all the surviving members of the street racing and drifting club to re-race, and some even secretly asked me if I could be their new leader. To them, I just laughed in their faces and told them to frig off, for they had shunned me my whole life, and now it was my turn. Besides, I had already mastered racing, and I was now turning my full attention to illegal underground computer gaming tournaments. I was getting my hands all cheesed up and hot-headed, ready to game some entry-level weaklings in secret Asian subservers and ether ports. It was also around this time girls started to knock the hell out of all my stuff. With this major development, I took to the Jelking boards using a fake account. I couldn't show any form of weakness as the Jelking king, now could I? And I asked around, where can I get really sizzling tips on how to get any girl to like cheat sheet or pick up tactics that really work? Anyone know? Thanks. Girl crazy Prince Jelker 45. What are some real life cheat codes that get a girl to notice me in a sexual way? Tips? Tricks? Pretty soon, I started getting some answers. The general consensus seemed to be that advanced hot gaming and pickup artists tried and tested the methods were the way to go. I was directed to an underground web community of muscle-bound, jacked up men who prided themselves on hot gaming girls 24/7. I was a little disheartened at first. My weak skeletal structure did not allow for the proper muscle sizes a lot of these guys recommended before attempting any of their tricks. But then I got a major piece of advice. Use your strongest assets to lure girls spider web of tricks and lies. I hit myself really right in the head. Duh. Obviously, I could use my car to get any girl to at least take a ride with me. And then I could use that opportunity to ask her to be my girlfriend, and maybe if she was distracted enough by the super sub-zero temp gauges and ultra-high centrifugal force, she would say yes. Maybe then I would finally get a kiss. Kiss please, kiss. I want kiss. So I decided to get a bunch of girls in my car no matter what. Maybe just one, and then show her around town and maybe even get some egg creams together at the drive-in. Soda jerk. That's what they call me. I popped on one of my all-time favorite Thinking About Getting Kisses albums called The Cure and dressed up like a vampire and jelked into a tizzy that night, hopeful for the next day. That night, I had a terrible dream where I got beat up by one of the at least 800 different girls from my school. And then at the end, I got stomped on by a huge version of Skinner, and he crushed my car and told me that Hilltop High was his, and don't forget I was a tiny little worm without my precious supercar. He pushed me down into hell, and the devil, who was a huge baby with bright blue hair and a massive 18-foot whip with studded spikes all over each individual strand, started inverse jelking me. Swip, swip, swoop, until I was back to having nothing. And instead he planted me with a thin pepperoni strip and named me Pepperoni Boy and made me slice all of his deli meats for massive submarine sandwiches from hell all day for eternity. I woke up and vomited into my hands. What a horrible dream. I hope today goes by a lot better than that. I'm sure it won't, though. All of my enemies don't mess with me anymore. And that jerk Skinner hasn't clobbered me since. Driving to school that day, I knew I had to make a great entrance in order to get a girl to fall in love with me and get in my car so we could cruise around together. I kicked up into high gear and then hit the e-brakes while doing a 180 rapid spin on the steering wheel, causing the car to flip over and jettison into the air while flipping and spinning wildly. The car smash-landed down from a swan dive mid-air freeze frame into the parking lot, directly on top of another car, destroying it upon impact. I thought the trick looked really cool, but there were no girls around to see me stick the landing. Just a bunch of nerds like I used to be. Sulking from not being noticed, I drudged my way into school. Suddenly, a hand gripped my shoulder and spun me around. "Hey, Nimrod, you just wrecked up my ride." It was Skinner. With fresh newfound cockiness, I said, "Well, watch where you park your ride next time, Nimrod." That was a huge mistake. Skinner, who was alive now, turned dark red and started shrieking. Skinner was obviously much stronger than me, even though he didn't jelk or game or even have a car anymore because I destroyed it. So he pounded me good. When I came to, I was bleeding on the front steps and about 3 hours had passed. I had already missed so much class, I just went back to my car and drove off. I was angry. Angry that I let my one measly win get to my head. I may have the respect as a great racer, but I still have no honor around Hilltop. I had to get back at Skinner somehow, but he was so much stronger than I. Suddenly, everything came together. I saw the perfect opportunity. It was Skinner's girlfriend, Yam, aka the most popular girl ever at Hilltop, sitting alone on the sidewalk. She looked sad. I remember reading online from the pickup artist website, Demonic Men, that the best way to get a girl to cheer up was to holler out of the window to cheer up or smile. So I slowed my ride's roll and saddled up beside her on the sidewalk and rolled the window down. This was about to be my first ever attempt to speak to a human girl that was my age, and so sweat was shooting out of me really fast, and I had to towel it up quickly and also wipe all the blood from my eyes from the beating I suffered from her boyfriend earlier. "Hey, cheer up, babe," I yelled out the window, improvising the babe part because I thought that would sound cooler and make me look like a cooler guy, since I was all wet and bleeding. She looked up and saw that, and I saw that she was crying too. Oh no. Before I could tell her to cheer up again and also call her babe again, or maybe honey, she wiped her tears and angrily questioned me. "What happened to you? Why are you all fucked up looking and bleeding?" I was surprised. I stammered. "Well, I got in a big fight, with your boyfriend, actually. Yeah, we're both pretty evenly matched, but in the end I won. Sorry, but I think I hurt him pretty bad." I lied without even thinking about the fact that she would know I was lying. "He's kind of a baby," I added. "Yeah, well, he can go to hell. I never want to see him again, so I'm glad you beat him up good," she replied. This was it. I was in the clear. Not only did she actually think I beat him up, but she hated him too. I just had to get her to go on a date with me now. I decided the best way would be to impress her with my car. So I told her, "Check this out," and spun out in place for 20 minutes until the rims caught fire. "Wow, your car's way cooler than Skinner's." I closed my eyes and clenched on the steering wheel. Some blood sprayed out from my forehead. "How's about you and me go for a spin?" I black out, and next thing I know, we're speeding down the road. It's probably been a couple of minutes, and I must have been driving unconsciously. She was looking out of the window, amazed at the sheer cruising speed we had reached. I was still nervous, so I dared not speak a word, from fear of ruining the moment. Suddenly, she turned around and asked, "Where are we going to go?" Oh, shit, I hadn't even thought of that. I didn't plan that far ahead. I only ever envisioned the cruising and maybe some of the soda jerk fantasy stuff. How about we go get some sodas," I said while facing straight ahead, making sure not to make eye contact. "Oh, like egg creams? Sure, but..." She quietly trailed her sentence off. Sensing that she was worried about something, I asked, "Are you worried about something?" "Well, it's just that is where Skinner hangs out with all his cronies and goons and the other warrior jock shock rockers." Upon hearing Skinner's name again, I lost control of the wheel and had to emergency stabilize before slamming into a crowd of people on the sidewalk head first. When when I regained road composure, I told her it wasn't anything to worry about. He wouldn't ever try to bug me or beat me again, keeping up my lie from earlier. In fact, I had an idea, probably my only hope that this date would turn out okay. As we zoomed towards the Soda Jerk HQ, I could see Skinner and his Rocket Boys all hanging out by the pumps. Skinner already had a new gal, but I knew he would slice my throat and murder me if he saw me rolling up to get sodas on a driving date with his main babe, Yam. Seeing as they were last year's hottest couple award choice, I knew that it was going to be serious competition. So I turned to Yam. I told her to hold the deck. We're about to make an entrance Skinner will never forget. As I slammed the e-brake down, prepping the drift, and did a rapid rotation on the wheel, time once again slowed to a thick syrup. The plan was to mortally wound Skinner, or at least scare him and his jerk friends, by drifting recklessly yet controllably into the driving lot. But in an instant, I realized I had made a fatal miscalculation. Yam, who was in the passenger seat, was causing the weight displacement ratio to be messed up, and the rotation was drastically exacerbated. Spinning towards Skinner and the boys at unbelievable and unexpected speeds, Yam took my hand and told me it was the greatest date she had ever been on and was looking forward to being my girlfriend. Just then, we slammed directly into the side of the soda drive-in, not hitting the intended targets, who were totally unscathed. The miscalculation had led to a totally inaccurate drift, and I had crashed horizontally parallel to the wall. The passenger side of the car had made contact. This, of course, was the car, of course, was completely untouched, but the sheer heat generated from the friction, centrifugal force, velocity, and terminal impact had caused a powerful blast of heat. The reaction shot its way out from the passenger side where the car had hit and blasted out as an explosion of energy. And Yam, totally unprotected without a heat-resistant suit like I had, was cellularly evaporated. Oh, brother. I had a girlfriend for 2 milliseconds, and then my own stupid drifting got her killed. This was to be my major life regret. One big mistake I would never let myself live down. I majorly blew it that night in the Soda Jerk squat spot. I finally got a girlfriend, and I just ruined it faster than I ever could have imagined. Not to mention now I had totally gotten 2 people killed. I stepped out of my car and into the parking lot. Skinner and his buddies were there, and I, worried that Skinner would be mad that his girlfriend had passed away in a freak accident, ran away. The truth was, Skinner and friends could not have possibly seen Yam in the car with me due to the speed we were traveling at into the wall, and since she was entirely vaporized, there were no remains to be found. Skinner and friends simply heckled me for wrecking my friend's car as I ran away in tears, filled with shame and a scarring fear of drifting. That was the day I vowed to never drift again, but I still had to sneak back a couple hours later and get my car. For a long time, everyone wondered what had happened to Yam, and yet no one found it odd that if the topic of her disappearance ever came up, I would get up and sprint away as fast as I possibly could. The police found no trace of her, and no one had seen her since she left class that day, and Skinner said they broke up the day before he went out to get sodas with his pals, and that was the last he ever saw her. Talk about a real pain in the ass. But then the drive struck me once again, like an awakening inside the hearing, like an awakening inside, like hearing a small elf voice talk inside my tiny bird brain. My tiny, tiny mind had some strange and powerful drive to continue on for some reason. Everything, all things must have and should have stopped me by now. But here I was, continuing on despite all the people I had hurt or accidentally eliminated. So here I was, standing on top of my supercar looking onward in the parking lot of the Drink and Drive soda station at 3 a.m. I must plow onward and move over, or sneakily around all obstacles. I must move, drive, go fast, speed boost, hit the brakes, no speed, back up, engage. I don't hear you, I don't hear anyone except myself. I will come crashing through the walls of Hilltop High, and I will not only make it through these 4 years of hell, I will surpass all others and blaze through it at supersonic speed. No one has seen how fast I can go yet. I'm talking out of the car. I'm going to blaze on by in all the other realms I've only dabbled in up to this point. I'm going to jelk until I pass out and have a 10-story private zone. And I'll game so intensely that my enemies will run as soon as I even turn my large antique modem on. I'm a fool and a crazy madman. I'm an idiot Nimrod. But that will help me even more because I have so many skill sets. I will basically be mindless. I will need the extra space in my brain. When you see me jettison past, you'll know it was me. Because there will be a huge trail of stinking spish and smoke. Gonna smoke you out all over the walls and the halls of Hilltop High. You'll be forever changed by me. A sauced up, overpowered maniac with 800 unique tactics and mental muscle destruction psycho pineal gland region of pure hot explosion slime mind terror triangulated hysteria. If you challenge me, you will be suddenly faced with a series of muscled gods, unbalanced, terrifying personalities, and a totally single-minded directive. Lock on and run you out of town. My body will cease to exist in the minds of others, and I will only exist as a half-demonic, cybernetic statue of a picturesque and chiseled fiend. And when anyone looks into my eyes, they will see an image of ultimate victory unfold. As they see the reflection of myself beating them into a pile of unsculpted wet clay, as it literally happened at the same time. When I graduate, everyone will pass out from the releasing gas of my ascending body, and I will leave this realm of rulers and block jock mimes far behind me, and only ever look back to unscrupulous revenge from above. I guess that's all we get for making fun of him during his humble beginning. In the end, it is us that created this new destructive and powerful Lord. That's what everyone will say. And I'll prove them right by destroying them uttering words. After that day I killed Yam, I was messed up on life hacks. I couldn't stop hacking my life. Day after day, I would roam the halls of High, mentally checking everyone I saw. I would double tap, three-shot personality twists, and mind jack all the teachers too. I jacked up my fear receptors and just lost all social fears and qualms. With all barriers broken down, I began bunging myself nonstop in class. I even yelled once during class, didn't even worry if I got caught, because they would all just respect my courage if I got caught anyway. I jeaned up and wore only the slickest, rimmed out, and style-free clothes. In other words, I optimized the shit out of my jacked up the fringe game beyond ascendant levels. Later on in the year, I showed up 30 minutes late to history class, 40-inch fringed tassel attachments to my standard branded jean suit, and mind melded with game-changer wordplay, and buzzword entertainment challenge, crossfire grammar games. They didn't even know what to say, so I told them to keep on teaching. My classmates really started respecting me about this time. Now it was known that I had mastered embracing and basically vehicular 187 all the other racers and drifters. And now my racing behind me, and I moved on much more advanced arts, video game journalism, and illegal underground wet gaming. It was known that I was deep web, dark territory, and I was properly worshipped as a life hack, computer god, whiz-jock in the halls. If anyone dared show disrespect, I simply challenged them to a duel in the octagon of their choosing, whether it be any form of gaming, or perhaps some kind of hot boy jelkoff. I would win so often no one dared try anymore. Everyone except Skinner and his crew, that is. Every day with these chumps, they would hassle me and make high school a place I did not have full control over. I was at least not getting pulverized on the daily regiment I was at least not getting pulverized on the daily when I started at Hilltop High, but I still had a lot of way to go before I made it to the top. It was the final year, and everyone was preparing for their college exams and application processes. So I decided to step it up a notch and find out all of the colleges that Skinner and his friends had applied to. I didn't actually care about college. My mind shriveled and warped into a high school embryo, shaped similarly to how a watermelon would grow in the shape of a box and housed in one as a young fruit. I wanted only to apply and get accepted with my newfound strategies of grade and mind meld tactics used on my teachers. So I began my new regiment. Daily after school, I would revisit each teacher of mine and force them to alter my grades enough so that even a high-level Ivy League college would find my sudden ascension, good studentship, impressive and promising. I would muscle in through the doors into their classes and begin mind flexing. The correct use of hot and cold buzzwords dramatically alter the wavelengths emitted from the pineal glands, and from then on I could bend their shapeable subconsciousness. I would double tap special syllables and use speech rhythm patterns to entrance them into idiotic mania and ease the mental anguish only after my grade positively. So I got into good colleges. I got into all the colleges that Skinner and his friends applied to. Grades through the roof. Then on the last day of school, I saw Skinner. He said to me, "Hey, wait a minute. Didn't you used to be the biggest nerd ever? I remember we used to pound you around the clock hourly. How in the world did you end up making high school anyway?" That was my cue. I locked eyes with Skinner, and I trigger activated in my pocket with a homemade incendiary device. Hilltop High was going sky high. The shards of the foundation construction blasted up vertically into the sky, reformed into a massive black coffin. The coffin was a movable, levitating trap bound to those captured inside to a permanent dark energy infused high school life. Inside this coffin, I unleashed an unspeakable hell that my now classmates would have to endure for eternity. I was the king god school bomber that I knew I would one day become, and I stunk the place up real good. The end. What do you guys think? Yeah, I know. It was written by this kid, Ola Davas. I'm not sure how he wants to be credited by his real name. So there it is. On the ending was written by my roommate Mike.
Actually, I don't think it's by me.
The ending was by him.
Yeah, the trap realm. Wish I could take credit.
What's the part? What did you write?
About the alien nuzzling.
Oh, I don't think I read. Oh, whoops.
It's fine.
All right. Well, there it is, folks. Joel banned. I don't know where Joel is, man. You gotta find him.
Phil says you gotta read another story.
I will. Audio's not messed up.
Phil says you gotta read another story.
Is there two? Is there like double audio? Well, there you go. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys
for listening. I hope you have a nice Thanksgiving. I hope it's not too depressing. Go to McDonald's. It's open 24 hours. Go fill your guts. What pills? Pills in the package. I have like probably five or six videos that I just have the channels down. If you guys there's a bunch of videos that have to get posted. Shut the fuck up, faggot. There's a bunch of videos that have to get posted and they're not going up because the channel's down. You have to email and get the channel back. Go on the Facebook page and one of the posts one about the the one about Adult Swim stuff's coming out in 2015. It's not coming out soon. The shirts probably 20% of them have been shipped. Not 100%. We're shipping more stuff as the post office open again. Is that Phil? These are the shirts right here. The MDE book's not going to be for a long time. It's being typeset by this place called the Royal Studio.com. They're Portuguese designers, but they're not going to be done for 8 months. The guy said, so I'm sure it'll be before that's anything real. But the shirts are here. They're sweet. This one. Make sure you buy one of these. There's still like 300 left. Or 200 left, and they're all sizes left. Well, no, I think it'll work getting the YouTube channel back. That's what happened before. We had to do that once before, like a year ago, or a year and a half ago. It got taken down. We had fans complain. The channel back on. Yes, you did. Mike things. I've been doing stand up. I'm gonna start doing stand up in Boston. No, I didn't squat. I'm gonna do stand up in Boston like once or twice a week. Yeah, when they restore the channel, they retain views. Paradigm Shift shirts are not sold out, not printed yet. But they will be soon. My hair, I gotta fix. That's why I'm wearing a hat. It's hot in here. Hey. I'm sorry about the Indiegogo rewards. I haven't even started yet. As far as I'm gonna get to you guys with the email address that you entered when you paid for those. I can't do that soon. I'm gonna do that in a week or two, or a month or two. I don't announce dates that I do stand up because if you went to those, you have to wait like an hour or two to see me do 3 minutes. But I'll post it next time I go to Boston. Probably next Tuesday or next Thursday. No, there's no video without audio right here. Sorry. And thanks Computer Collabs. Yes, they're Andrew from Thanks Computer is he's directing all the Adult Swim stuff that we're doing. So yes, we're collaborating. Crazy ideas. I smoke weed. I smoke so much weed. I'm high right now. That's where I get my ideas from. I'm kidding about that.
The Adult Swim videos are going on there. They're launching a new website that's called Y.Fi, I think.
But that's a temporary title. They're not launching that website until 2015. So that's when you'll be seeing the thing. Anything else? You got anything else? No, I've never tried drugs. Targeted by some. That's a lot of questions. Hold on a second. It's too many questions now. I don't. Do I hate Republicans? I hate anybody who thinks that war is acceptable. Tim and Eric, MD collab, no. Fuck you. 2-year-old footage, Tissue Box Street Fashion. Yes, there's a shitload of old footage that's not edited yet. Did I vote for Obama? No, never. Did I meet Tim and Eric? No. Do I go on poll? No. What else? Do I consider myself an otaku? Yes. If the YouTube channel has to come back to get it back. You're not going to see any new videos unless you do that. I'm not making a YouTube channel that's humiliating, lose all subscribers. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to go through that. You have to do it. I don't care if you have to go to the headquarters, throw a brick through their window. You guys have to get the fucking channel back. So go contact them. It's the addresses are posted on Facebook post I just made. On the MD Ferguson standing at the bottom of that. Legal at youtube.com account-appeal copyright support. You have to email them and get the thing back. Otherwise there's no new videos. There's like 10 that are ready to upload. Well, right now almost. Do I have herpes? No. Would you come to my house for Christmas? Maybe. Do you go on 4chan? No. Do I like choking chicks out? Great. Yeah, definitely momentum. Waiting for the channel to come back. Sucks. Yeah, H3 Productions steals my videos. They don't. That kid's a faggot, man. That kid needs to die. And he's really fucking annoying too. I talk to him on Steam. It's just like he's a fucking dick sucker. What got the channel taken down in the first place? The HTML, they flagged the blow up doll in it, they flagged the H tutorial one, and I guess some Indian guy saw it and banned my account. Sucks. I'm not. Why persist in getting the channel back and not another one? Because that's ridiculous. It would just get banned again on YouTube. If YouTube, if they see hundreds of emails pouring in, they will restore the channel. They did it once before. But if I just make a new channel, there's nothing. It's just gonna get banned again. And I can't go on Vimeo. It'll get banned quicker there.
Sorry if I unfriended you on Steam. There were like 300 people every time I was playing Peggle. What's that game? Peggle? Is that what it's called? Yeah, every time I was trying to play Peggle, I got 300 messages there. My relationship with my mother is abusive. No, it's really good. If we can't get the channel back, it's not my problem. It's your problem. I'm still making videos. We're filming shit with like we're doing dope shit. We're getting nice cameras and nice equipment and shit. Doing stuff that's super funny. If you want to see it, get the fucking channel back. I can't help you with that. That's for you to do. Thank you for the Frosted Tips compliment. I don't know why the Dragon Con videos got taken down. The yelling out the window one is not really. I have like 10 decent clips from that, but it's not really. It's not a sketch. I need more material for that. And I'm kind of hesitant to do it. I don't want to get kicked out of my apartment. Yeah, call YouTube. Go to their office. Go to California. That's what my backup fucking drive a rider truck through their front door. Someone else should do that. I'm 5'8". I said that earlier. The new stuff content is probably like 18, 16 minutes of content total, maybe 18, maybe 20. Would you consider yourself successful? What do you think led you to success? I'm not successful. Do something funny at the gym. Sorry about the echo. I'm 5'8". I'm not 6'2". It's a joke. 5'8". It's the real height. I don't have chest hair right now. I'm 5'8". Nick's been in the official videos. He lives in LA though, so I can't point my iPhone. I live in Massachusetts. But he's in all the adult swim stuff and on all the him and Charles are on all the stuff. I don't have any kids. I don't think. Charles is doing pretty good. He talks to people on Facebook. Talk to him. My pause chaser. Yeah. Charles is in LA also. You want me to show my feet? You want to show my feet? My little feet? The book is 500 or 600 pages. I'll show you the cover. This is a temporary cover. But it's I like the center logo. We're talking about different things. Thinking about having the whole book printed on yellow pages, like black ink on yellow page book, and then the cover would be white vinyl black embossing. It would be this right here. So. There it is right there. It's how to bomb the U.S. government while protecting yourself from ELF weapons, ILS, mind control, black men, third world cultures, cops, overweight women, child molesters, the military industrial complex, yourself. Subtitle 10 steps to being normal and successful, not crazy and threatening. The official Prima strategy guide to the collapse of Western civilization. And it's gonna be like a big fucking book. You're 5'8" and have roughly the same body shape as me. What would you recommend doing for sports exercises? Backflips. Start doing backflips right away. I would live in LA, but it's I need some money. I gotta get. I'll move out there when I have money. If I ever have like more than $1,000 at a time. Think about making a movie. No, probably bad. Making movies with no budget. It's the worst idea ever. Joyride Universe is not dead. Joyride Universe is it's too far away to talk about, but it's a really big plan. I do web design, I do front end web design, motion graphic stuff. No, adult. I haven't. All the money we got from Adult Swim went immediately into production. Yes, KSTV. If you ordered a DVD, you're gonna get a DVD. Yeah, we did hook up with Nelson Castro. Tim and Eric. I think Tim and Eric have like a huge megaphone. Like they occupy this space that's really central and important and like not that all their fans are smart people are going to see what they do. And I think they do very little in terms of anything important. I think they just do silly shit. Like I wish that someone would say something like I mean there's a lot of bad shit going on. And if you have a big megaphone, big spot on the podium, and you just get up there and you just go swink. That's my problem. That's what I don't like. I haven't really watched. I don't know much about Eric. I saw one episode of the show, but I don't watch stuff like that. If you got the Kickstarter TV, the Kickstarter TV reward shirt, it's going to be shipped later. Shipping the early orders right now, and it's going to take like a month. It costs a lot of money. It's just I'm sorry for fucking up. I unfriended you on Facebook. I made a new Facebook. I only talk to. I can't go on Facebook and talk to people all day. Waste of time. If you need to talk to me, you can email me. But don't say anything goofy stuff. No, I don't smoke cigarettes. Is the Tim and Eric movie actually good? I like Mega 64. I think they're funny. Would you rather have died in the womb? Yeah. What do you think about cigarettes? I really don't like cigarettes. They're not for me. Will a medium clown blast fit a 16-year-old boy? I don't know. Pictures. Torso. No. I don't know if a medium shirt will fit you, man. Go put on a medium shirt and see if it fits. Fucking retard. Yeah, you can come to the house, buy a shirt if you live 30 minutes away. You can email me. Mega 64 MDE collab. I think they're really busy. I think we're probably too hateful to align with. I don't know if they would do that. But if they would, I would do it. Do you do any sort of drug at all? No, I don't do any drugs. I've never been high. I've never been drunk. I don't do drugs. It's my favorite book. Is 50 Shades of Grey. Caffeine's a drug. The FBI story I can't talk about, but it sucks. Ex-girlfriend related, and she needs to die. Favorite person from Mega 64? I love them all. I love them all. Can't pick just one. Has Nick or Charles ever encouraged you to drugs? You like my hat? I saw Nathan for you. I thought it was pretty funny. I saw like 10 minutes. I couldn't watch the thing though. David Foster Wallace. I read like a chapter of Infinite Jest, and that seemed like something I didn't want to read. Is it true that your sperm is infertile? Yes. Are you friends with Doug Pound? Yeah. I'm actually really close friends with Doug Pound. The shortest possible and most important general advice about women is that they are disposable as toilet paper. That's not what I mean. What I mean is women are the most special and important people in my life are definitely women. Except for Mike. Except for Dodo Mike. However, if you tie your validation, security and validation stuff to women, if you become like a beta male pussy and get into relationships, you're gonna be miserable. Kill yourself. That's the worst. And it's a hard lesson to learn. And you can blow a lot of time being in relationships with shitty women. So just be careful. Try to be a man. You don't have to be like alpha male, misogynist. You don't have to treat women like trash. Just have a sense of a sense of self, like know who you are and have some self-worth. How much would Patrice O'Neal influence me? I don't know, but I really love Patrice O'Neal. He's the best stand-up comedian. Patrice O'Neal is fucking awesome. Definitely favorite stand-up comedian. Patrice O'Neal. Tim and Eric mocking masculinity on the reg. Not surprised. How much money do you make off of YouTube without ads? That's a real thing. You think people make money on YouTube if they don't have ads? I've never made a dime from YouTube. Who's your favorite comedian? Never heard of. I'm not a stand-up comedian connoisseur. I don't really know. Shut the fuck up about Tim and Eric. I don't know any stand-up comedians. Do some haul videos. I will. Do I have album recommendations? I highly recommend listening to Underworld and Boards of Canada and D-Block mixtapes. No, this shirt's classy. This shirt's dope. I'm not changing the shirt. Danielle Harl's done some songs for us, yeah. Do you intend? I don't really intend comedy to be radical. I just kind of have to say what I think is funny. But I don't think we're aligned with. We definitely don't want to be aligned with any sort of political extremism. Those people like us, that's fine. But I kind of just want to say funny stuff and not think too hard about it. Was I sad when Paul Walker died? Yes. I think Vice might seriously be like a CIA thing. I mean, Vice is anything Vice makes got a New York Times vibe to it. I look like a worm. Thanks. We actually don't have camera gear anymore. We rent it or borrow it. My favorite Dota 2 is Bounty Hunter. Modern day Malcolm X. Yes, describes me. I am a modern day Malcolm X. And yes, I was more sad about Paul Walker dying because I am a street racer. So it kind of like made me gave me pause. I don't know why neo-Nazis love our stuff. It's not my problem. It's your problem. Vice's sub-channel Munchies.
Hi guys, no
Definitely Cyberpunk over Steampunk. Supra is on blocks right now. Supra needs help. It's going to be a minute before we get the Supra running. Favorite long-form MD produced video would be probably Ideas Man, but that's a bunch of videos. My favorite would be this one called That's Piss You Dumb Cunt, which is unreleased because the channel's not back because enough people haven't emailed YouTube. But when they do, you're going to see That's Piss You Dumb Cunt, which is very funny. Smokane 3 is also really, really fucking good. And it's going to have a full soundtrack by this guy who just toured with Egyptian Lover, who's a fucking ace on the keyboard. Show the cover. That's it right there. Which BDSM capabilities do you have, Sam Hyde? Well, I'm well trained in am I bitter about the YouTube channel? No, I love it. It's so good not having a YouTube channel. It's so funny not being able to post stuff. It's awesome. Yeah, Tissue Box 2 is shot. It's on tapes. We have it. It's just not edited yet. Fully equipped and ready to service. Any BDSM need, I'm fully equipped, ready to service. My favorite Japanimation is what would my favorite Japanimation be? I don't know. I like the Ghost in the Shell movies. I think they're pretty ace. ISIS Crisis should join up. What's your PC rig? I don't know. It's like expensive though. It's a good one. It has 6 hard drives, a lot of video footage. DJ Chaos might be dead. I'll be right back.
Oh, it was bad, man. Oh, we got Shadow Sean.
Hey.
Definitely can.
All right. Anything else? Is there anything else? Any other questions here? How do you afford to rent your camera gear? Well, we Adult Swim gave us a budget to rent camera gear. We're not paying out of pocket to make videos for someone else's website.
Did you ever suck Kevin Truong? No, I didn't suck Kevin Truong. What's your favorite pizza topping? Watermelon. What's your stance on Dogma 95 filmmaking? It's pretty cool. Who's your favorite Homestuck character? Do you have a dream project you want to do someday that currently isn't possible? Joyride Universe is the end goal. Paradigm Shift shirts are not printed. How are you paying rent? Can you rub your hand on your crotch and tell us what it smells like? Does your spit still smell like battery acid? Oh, James, yeah, I'll make you a moderator. Sorry, man. I thought I did. Do you like Kevin Smith's movies? Is he the... I like Kevin James movies. Did you ever feel like a poser starting out? I feel like a poser all the time, even when I'm not performing or anything. Have you sucked at all even just once? No. What's your max squat? I recently did 3x5 by 315, and I think I could do more for 1 rep. How'd you meet Frank Yang? Messaged him on Facebook. Are you going to make more vertical videos? Yes, I have a lot of them. Sam, can you lick your elbow? No. Need to see your everyday carry. I just have a wallet. I don't carry anything in my pockets. 3x5 PR is 315. How can you improve your technique? Rub oils and lotions into your buttocks. Noise music thoughts. Noise music's terrible. I'm not opposed to low budget filmmaking. Now, if you're making a film, I think it's a waste of time because you can't. Making films is a waste of time. Period. Unless you're fucking movie studio. Adult Swim gives you money to make vids for the MDE YouTube channel. How does that work? That's not what they do. What do you think of Frank Zappa? He's probably cool. I don't know that much about him.
He's definitely cool.
Is he definitely cool?
Absolutely.
How do you feel about Canadians? They're probably cool. I don't know much about them. Where and when Adult Swim footage? 2015 on the Adult Swim website. Stare into the camera for 1 minute. Please be silent. How long does it take you to come? Do you plan on buying an Oculus Rift? Who is your favorite MFC model? What's an MFC model? My free cams. My average tip is 10 tokens. Would you be in a film if someone wanted you to? If it's good? I don't really have time. Sorry. Have you ever attempted suicide? Yes. No, I haven't attempted suicide. How useless is your art degree? It's beyond useless. I want to fucking... Somebody should... Oh, God. Don't get an art degree. Don't get a fucking degree, period. Yes, I actually have an art degree. Would you... How many girlfriends have you had? Maybe 1, but technically probably 0. Do you like football? No. 1. When you were 20, were you happy or sad? I don't think I've ever been happy. I've never been happy or sad. I've just been driven and either unfulfilled or feeling fulfilled. I don't spend too much time being happy. I'm 23 years old. Would you rather be a garbage man or a toll booth operator? Garbage man. Are you a virgin? Technically, no. Would you consider doing something for BET? Yes, I would. I would love to. Public speaking roles planned, kinda. Nothing major though. I'm 23 years old. I'm 5'8". Would you rather talk to an old black person or a young yellow person? Probably an old black person. Thoughts on virtual reality plus Facebook? Sign me up. How's a young 18-year-old twink like you get to work with Adult Swim? let's just say there's some things you have to do. Have you ever been in love? Yeah. Nick and Charles are in LA. What was 2011 like for you? It was hell. Could I beat Paul Walker at basketball when he was alive? No. Who iced your tips? Myself. Does oral count? No. How was high school like in 2003? It was baller. Are you seriously 23? Yes, I am. I'm 5'8". Do you and Anthony Fantano have beef? No, I'm sending him a t-shirt. Would you rather your wife cuckolded by someone of the same race or different race? Good question. When did you start lying about your answers? Secret MDE members, they got to remain secret. I can't tell you. Sorry, buddy. The easiest way to make someone mad at you is to disagree with them politically. The Russian dance video was just a Russian. It was like a foreign language festival or something. How often do you shower / brush your teeth? Once a week.
Let's do it, man.
No, I think I'm 29. I think. Where do you get those large beakers? On Amazon. If somebody wants to fight you at a bar, you should just take it. Just take the beating. You're not going to win. Am I a capitalist? I think capitalism is probably the most efficient way of distributing resources. But I wouldn't say, I don't know, so I don't feel super strongly about it, but I have a hunch that it's probably the best way. What do you think of Abby Martin? She's a goddess. Abby Martin's my goddess. Abby Martin, I love Abby Martin. She's my goddess. She's so hot. She's like a brainy chick who's hot. Who's funnier, Nick, Charles, or you? Probably Nick, but in certain ways, Charles. There's certain things Charles does that are by far the funniest. James said he quit MDE. I quit MDE. Icing mustache fangs. Yes. What car should I get in a $25K budget? If you have $25,000, do you have $25,000 or are you going to finance a $25,000 car? Either way, you shouldn't be thinking like that. You should just get like a beater or a lease, something as cheap as possible, and then take the rest of that money and do something useful. Am I a nihilist? Well, does nihilist mean that you create your own meaning? If that's what that means, probably yeah. But I'm not sure. I don't know what nihilism means. Do you hate your fan base? No, but I hate people who, I don't hate people, but I can't deal with all the funny, like people messaging things that are supposed to be goofy and like sending me emails like, how many times a day do you fart? I'm silly. Can we talk? You be my dad. That's too much. Will you race my stage 2 Golf R with over 300 all-wheel horsepower with your swapped Supra? Who would win? I don't have you would win for now, but not for long. I'll be back. Nihilist is accepting no meaning at all. I don't think I feel that way. Although, if you're going to be super logical, you can probably arrive at that conclusion. I have to get a car for $25K. What should I get? I have the money. You should lease the cheapest thing possible. What's your average KDA on Counter-Strike? Probably like 5 to 1 kill death ratio or more, or even better than that. It's pretty good kill death ratio. How's your gynecomastia going? It's good. It's developing. What's your top selling clips for sale video? Probably my latex glove JOI video.
How many plastic fans have you broken? Probably 5 or 6 so far, but more. I'm going to be doing more.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I can legally leave the country. What else we got? Is it acceptable to be a hedonist? No, it's not. It's definitely not. You need to fix that. Don't be like that. Did you fuck with my friend about sending him a drive? No, man. I sent drives in envelopes, and a few of them got ripped open. But who is the I sent these things, and they all fell out. So whoever was getting a drive, oh no, if you meant the T-shirt drive, I told people that with the T-shirt shipments that I was going to send them little USB drives with Sam Hyde greatest hits on them, and it's these ones right here. And I think 2 of them said that I forgot to pack them. So if you didn't get your Sam Hyde drive right here, I'll read it to you. It says, and these are like USB things. See, USB. See, it says right there, USB. But I really like this. I really like this card thing because it says on it, "Faggots make me sick. Get any chick you want. I'll give you private lessons where I teach you how to fuck a girl. Do I love men? Sure. Why not? But you won't see me fucking them. Take the hetero pledge and promise me you'll never do that stuff." The holder of this card is a certified 100% alpha male, hetero silverback king pussy slayer, never kissed a guy. Those were the T-shirts that I sent out so far. But if you didn't get one, email me with your PayPal address and address that I sent it to. I don't know who Molly Pelivan is. Oh, the chick. Oh, yeah, I remember her. Yeah, I fucked her. Yeah, I fucked Molly Pelivan. Yeah, I fucked her, yeah. Yeah, I fucked that bitch, yeah. Yeah, yo, I fucked that bitch, yeah. What do I think about the portrayal of women in video games? Good question. I think it's absurd. I don't think real women look like that. Real women have curves. Real women are bulky. Real women are fat. Real women could definitely not do what Lara Croft does. I don't think any real woman can do that. Real women can't really, they're not going to help you in a gunfight, okay? Real women probably shouldn't be in video games. That's what I feel with the portrayal of women in video games. No, I think if women have a problem with the way women are portrayed in video games, more women should make fucking video games. How about you do that? You fucking lazy prick. You lazy fat pricks. That's the women I'm talking to. If you have a problem with the way women are portrayed in video games, make a fucking video game. Make a good one. I'll play it. Princess Slayer.
Oh my god.
Do you think you'd still be as funny if you got all ripped up and jacked? No, but I don't think I will ever be ripped up and jacked. I'm scared my family and friends will think I'm a faggot, capital letters, if I buy one of your shirts. Is it really worth it? It's really worth it. Do you think your comedy is bleak? Maybe, but at times hopeful. What are your shaving methods? Good question. Would you start an anti-ISIS to fight the terrorists? Yes. When am I getting my shout-out video? I sent you dollars. I'll do it soon. I will. Sorry. Do you like Tom Green? Yes. How do you typically feel about it? You look so cute when you're bashful. Check your PMs. Would you actually hang out with a fan? Yes, and I have hung out with fans. Some kid bought me a bunch of beer that I didn't drink because I don't drink, and I hang out with people if you're around. What's the worst channel on YouTube? I don't know. There's a lot to pick from. How'd you get into TEDx? I just emailed. They had really low quality control. Why are your shirts more expensive than my electric bill? Because they're sizzling. Because they're charged up.
Oh my god.
Because they cost $10 to print and $5 to ship. I'm not going to
I'm not going to sell it for $20 and make $5 a shirt. That's retarded. I'm glad that Toad from Super Mario is genderless. It's good. You've got to be represented. %20 of the shirts are shipped. Don't worry about it. Have you ever been trans? Yeah, I was biologically a woman. Do you hate humanity? Only aspects of it. I don't think I hate total humanity. What do you think of Bill Cosby rape? I think I don't know. It's definitely bad if you rape people, but I don't think I think if Bill Cosby weren't a right-leaning, if he wasn't a right-leaning guy, I don't think he'd be crucified like this. But I don't really know anything about it. Recreational use of cannabis and alcohol. I think alcohol is probably not the best idea, and I think cannabis. I don't think there's any way to smoke weed casually and not become absolutely devastated by it. I think weed kills people. Weed will fucking ruin your life. It takes years of your life. You can't use weed casually. You'll become to the point where you self-medicate with it, and you'll be using it every day and you won't even get high anymore. Probably not going to upload anything to Dailymotion. I'm too pissed off at YouTube, and I wanna fight that fight, and I will. If in a year we don't have our fucking YouTube channel back, I'm gonna go out there and I'll do something that'll get me on the news. Something legal and safe that will get me on the news. What's the longest you've gone without masturbating? Probably a month. What are your thoughts on legalizing crystal meth? Texas drug dealer, we met him in a parking lot. Yeah, if you just started smoking weed, you gotta stop. It's really a bad idea. It's just a waste of time and money. Joel's not here anymore. I can't show him on camera because he's not here. What can you say for a young, aspiring, non-capitalistic artist? Get a minimum wage job and see how the world works, and move forward from there. Will you say hi to my dog? His name is Popwee.
No.
That's by Ham Jam Sam. You are gonna be banned. You're gay. You gotta go. Are you subscribed to NoFap on Reddit? No. How long did the album art for Twat take you to make? Maybe like 2 days. Will you fight me? No. Would you eat a human if someone else prepared it and you wouldn't get in trouble for doing it? Fuck no. I've seen that question on OkCupid. That's kind of disgusting when people answer that they would try human meat. It's barbaric, awful. Hey, is Phil doing another one? Make him do another one. He's got to wait 5 minutes. Would you or Nick ever come to Canada? We would go anywhere if we had a reason to do it. Does Mike do anything for MDE? Yeah, he does some stuff. He's going to be doing more, though.
All the time. All day.
Is Papa Gino's the best? Yes. If you were a supervillain, what would your theme/affinity be? It would be, I don't know how to answer. That's a good question. Are you on Tinder? You are on OkCupid? No, I've never used those sites. I've never done anything like that. How would I convince a girl to have sex with me? This is not a joke question. My best advice for you would be, if you want to be loved, be lovable. Which is sort of like that. It's sort of like stupid, like thing that a stupid, dumb old broad would say. You got to love yourself to get love. But it's true. You have to be, you have to have some sort of sense of self-worth, and you have to sort of work on yourself, and then just let let people be attracted to you, but you can't really convince a girl to have sex with you. That's kind of like, I don't know, if you want like pickup artist techniques, I think that's kind of lame. Just make yourself sexy. Just become sexy. Just do that. Go up to her and just be like, hey, can I talk to you for a minute? Yeah, it's just like I saw you over there. I'm like, I just like thought you were beautiful. Like, you're my world. You're my world, baby. You could just try negging. Try negging. Hey, ugly. Like me. You should like me. Thoughts on Tumblr. Tumblr really is bad. It's really bad. The whole like Gamergate thing, like cracking down on free speech, really, really bad. That's a sign of end times right there. It's time to buy it's time to buy a rifle and some surplus ammunition. Will you explain MDE's philosophy to me in full and how it contrasts with your own philosophy and life outlook, and tell me all the fucking information? What's the dumbest way to spend $500? I don't know. Go to gizmodo.com, go to the daily deals, any of that stuff. Yeah, I've heard of Julian Blanc. I think he's funny. I don't think I'm not gonna like I wouldn't do any of the stuff that he does, but I think he's like a funny character. What kind of assault rifle do you recommend? I really like the V58 Sporter, I think it's called. The CZ V58. Yeah, that thing's dope. I like that. I would get a CZ V58. Or something with like a full size like hunting rifle cartridge. Kill some cops. Are you optimistic about your future? What about MDEs? Yes, on both counts. No, I don't have a gun. How old were you when you lost your virginity? 26. Would you beat Rocco Bot in a fist fight? He's a pretty bulky dude, so he'd be hard to take down, but I think you probably have more raw power. I don't know. I weighed myself. That's why I'm laughing. Because I weigh 260 now. Fuck you. Do you believe in God? Yes. Do you get good grades in school? Yes. No, I don't. I'm absolutely don't believe in God, but I'm not like adamant about not believing in God. I don't really care about it. Did I get good grades in school? No, I got like B minuses, but I aced the SATs. Supra, yeah, no, Supra's a dream car. I think it's the most well-proportioned car of all time, and I think it's right at the cusp of. It was right. They designed it right before they were starting to go nuts with things designed on CAD with advanced materials. Like the type of shapes that new cars you can make with new cars are just fucking ridiculous. They're so ugly, and I think that limitation is important for art, especially with industrial design. FBI thing was legit. Yes, can't talk about it. It was ex-girlfriend related. It was like a revenge thing. Silverback gorilla versus grizzly bear. Who would win? Probably grizzly bear, I think. My SAT score was a 1540 out of 1600. Fuck you. I like 911s. They're too small though. I wouldn't. The new ones are big enough, but they're kind of just this sort of douchebag aura around those cars. I wouldn't be confident enough to drive one. If you could travel back in time, would there be anything you would change? I probably just would have wanted to get a jump on things earlier. I started making my senior thesis project in college was $1 Million Extreme, the first episode, which I'm going to repost when you get the fucking channel back. When you complain to YouTube and get the channel back, I'll repost
the original $1 Million Extreme 30-minute pilot episode. But that was I made that in college in 2006, and it was before Tim and Eric Awesome Show came out. And I just wish that I just wish that we got an earlier jump on shit, because like the time, I don't know. How much would you spend on a good set of headphones? Personally, not much, because I'm kind of tone deaf. But I have these $40 JVC things. They're pretty good. But I don't have any recommendations. How satisfied are you with the MDE product that you've built? Would you like to improve? What would you like to improve? I'm pretty satisfied. I'm really obsessed with quality control and not cutting corners and being a perfectionist about things. I just wish that we had more output, because we have so many ideas and we just don't have time to produce them all. Have you ever collabed with mypostingcareer.com? No. Would you become a cyborg or just get robotic eye implants? I would be a cyborg. I would get nanomachines in my body as soon as they come out. Should guys be less obsessed with pussy? I guess so. If you're obsessed with pussy, it's probably not good to be like that. It's probably a big waste of time chasing your dick around, not improving yourself or making your situation in life better. So yeah, probably shouldn't. If you're asking that question, you're probably shouldn't be obsessed with pussy. How did you get all those people to play dead in the beginning of Ideas Man? That's in Providence, Rhode Island, the unemployment capital of the world, where people wait around all day for a bus. People wait hours in Kennedy Plaza for a bus. So the way you get them to lay down on the ground is you say, hey, if I give you $1, would you lay down on the ground? Do you write any music yourself? No, I'm not musical. Do you cut corners when washing up? Nice. Do you want to be famous? I don't necessarily want to be famous, but I do want to have a big megaphone. I want to be able to say stuff and rock the world. Would you prefer to have sex with a black chick with a slamming booty or a white chick with slamming titties? Please. I would probably say white chick, but I'm not racist, though. What do you feel like someone should read? What do you feel like someone should read? I like the way you phrased that question. Shadow of the Torturer, without a doubt. Charles recommended it to me. It's the best science fiction book. Shadow of the Torturer is so good. What's your opinion on the UK? Glad I don't live there. No, I'm not a programmer. How much would it cost for me to get you to come to my college and give a talk/seminar? If you can get me in front of 500 plus people, I will go there. If you can get me money for gas, I would really appreciate it, but I'll go there if there's a big audience. Do you want sex? No, I've cleansed myself of all impure desires. Did you fuck the box from XOXO/auto-admit? Uh-oh. Yeah, that girl is a fucking train wreck. I used to pick her up from the hospital after she attempted suicide. It was probably a bad idea. It's probably a red flag right there, but yes, but she's mostly lying about all that shit. Who's a better father figure, Mario or RoboCop? Definitely RoboCop. I think it's good for a father figure to count down from 3 before killing people. Who's pissing you off in this chat the most? I think we banned most of those people. I have a hard time believing you ain't racist, homeboy. I'm not racist. I have no problem with people of other races.
Are you a misogynist or a bigot of any sort? I don't think I'm a misogynist. I mean, I'm sure most modern feminists would say that I'm a misogynist, but I don't really have any sort of malicious opinions about women. Is it cool to email me music to use for projects? Yes, please do that. But include, make sure you include like an artist's name and how you want to be credited. What do you think of Good Neighbor? I think Kyle's pretty funny. I don't watch much of it, but I think he's pretty funny. What does Charles do for work? He does voiceover for audiobooks. Who do you live with? Would you rather be extremely rich and have a very small fan base, or extremely poor with a large one? I would rather have whatever's gonna enable me to make the most impact. So probably a large fan base. I haven't watched too many cooks, and I'm not going to. What's in the hard case? Couch. Oh, nothing. Nothing's in the case. Don't worry about it. Have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness? No. How much of Officer Maggot was scripted and how much was improv? Did the actors know the script, or were they just reacting to you? It was kind of half and half, but there was a lot of improv, and the actors did a really good job of reacting. The black guy was fucking ace. The Indian guy was a fucking retard who tried to one-up me, and he later on was like, I've actually done improv before, so I know what I'm doing. He's one of those guys. Do you foresee problems with your views mocking feminism, etc. once you're more famous? Yes. Do you make money from MDE? No. Spend money on MDE. Didn't you approach Adult Swim years ago for stuff too? What took them so long to come around? Everything Hollywood stuff takes forever, and people are asleep, and nobody really wants to like go out on a limb. And it wasn't until like we were talking to people at Adult Swim, like lower level people, and they were like, yo, you guys are funny. You keep sending us your stuff. You know, it's cool. Like, just send us stuff. And it wasn't until like a year later that they showed anything to the Mike Lazo, who immediately was like, these guys are the next, who immediately decided to give us a spot. What's the racial makeup of your city? It's mostly white, Portuguese, white, regular white, and it's really poor. Fall River is real bad. How did you find out about O'Donnell's? I'm friends with the kid that does that, and I like him. He's funny. How do you make money? What do you do for a living? I do web design. I do motion graphics. I don't like black metal. Do you like Dipset? Yes. I think Cameron's actually brilliant. Should I follow my dreams? Depends what those dreams are. The next Tim and Eric. Yeah. We're not on Tosh.0, are we? Hope not. What should I major in? You should major in something that will make you money and that you enjoy. You should probably major in like welding or something like that. How much do you charge for a website? $100. Did you get kicked out of FIAD? No, I've never been on FIAD. Have you ever vaped? What do you think of the vaping community? No, I've never vaped. I honestly think vaping is really cool, though. I love it. I love seeing people doing it. I don't think inhaling hot propylene glycol or whatever the fuck they do. I don't think inhaling something hot is safe. But I really do like watching people vape. I think it's funny. It's very cyberpunk. Are you trolling on the MD subreddit? No. What's your ethnic background? Irish, English, German, Dutch, Italian, in no particular order. Probably English or Irish primarily. Should I go to college for architecture or welding? I think architecture is very heavy on math, but if you like architecture, it's probably much more rewarding. Not saying welding's bad, but architecture, I think you'd have to be like seriously talented and smart, and you'd really want to commit to that. Otherwise, you'd probably end up falling short of where you want to be. Did you live in Brooklyn, and if so, how was it? No, I lived in the Bronx, though, and it was fucking awful. I hate New York City. New York City should be wiped off the map. Terrorists should detonate a nuclear bomb in New York City, and it should be wiped off the map. Is studying a creative field worth it? Like you said, your degree was useless, but is anything worthwhile in your experience? No. It cost, my parents paid like $250,000 to send me to college. I learned almost nothing practical. How could that ever be worth it? I mean, no. It's a total fucking waste of time. If you're creative, if you're a talented artist, there's 355 million people in the country. There's no need for 500,000 artists. Okay, if there's a good artist, everybody's going to be consuming that art. Like if there's someone that's good at music, there's this thing called printing CDs and copying that enables you to take music from one musician and distribute it among a lot of people. So we don't need 50,000 musicians, all right? And chances are you're not as good as the best musicians are, the best filmmakers are, the best artists are. So if you're thinking about a creative field, first of all, make sure you're damn good. You should be like the top 1%. You shouldn't be like, oh, I'm good at drawing. I can doodle a little bit. Maybe I should go to art school. That's really bad. You're gonna blow 4 years of your life. You're gonna blow a lot of money, and nothing good is gonna happen from that. So you have to be top 1% or better at whatever the creative field is that you want to do, and then think to yourself, am I going to be able to make enough money from doing this that I'll be able to offset the cost of this college experience here. Do you believe the world is going down the toilet? Yes and no. I think technology will be our savior, but I think we're currently in World War III right now. What porn sites do you pay for, and how much Amazon wish lists have you cleared? That's too much detail. Too much detail to go into. Is Nick working to lose weight? No. Where are we at here? Have you ever done an enema? No. What do I do if my degree is useless and I suck at everything I do and have no friends? I don't know, man. You gotta start picking up the pieces, though. Really figure it out. Are you still taking 10,000 IU vitamin D a day? Yes. What are your thoughts on BuzzFeed? It's my homepage. What's your favorite Metal Gear Solid? Probably the first one. How often do you feel remorse? Not really ever. How old are you? I'm 23. I'm 5'8". How do I differ from Charles politically? I think Charles is a bit more comfortable with authority. I'm definitely more of an anarchist than Charles is. But we do see eye to eye on a lot of stuff, though. Is Charles a sociopath? No. Favorite movie off the top of my head would be Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger. No, I'm not heavy into trance music. I'm 23, I'm 5'8". Do you think people who commit suicide are mentally weak? No, not necessarily. I think people who fake suicide attempts for attention are definitely mentally weak, but real suicide I don't think really is, it's not a direct link to mental weakness. Is there any way of giving you money without using PayPal? You can mail it to me. Send Bitcoin.
There it is.
Have you seen the movie They Live? It's really good. Yes, it is. What's your IQ? Probably above 160. How do you feel about DeviantArt, Toilet, Day Job, Motion Graphics? Have you ever been depressed? If so, how did/do you deal with it? Depression, definitely in winter, you need to take vitamin D, because if you don't have vitamin D, you're gonna be fucking depressed no matter what, even if you're not a person who's prone to depression. Other than that, I would say that lifting weights and cold showers are good depression cures. But overall, you must not wait until you start to feel better. That's what people who lay in bed all day do, is they are just waiting to start feeling better. You have to take action. Action is what, action and heat are what create like a sense of meaning for what you do during the day. You have to do something. You can't fucking lay in bed all day. Does your forehead leave marks on your beanie? Yeah. How much is your rent? My rent is $700 for 1,800 square feet, and it's dirt cheap. That's less than like warehouse space, because Fall River is a fucking ghetto. 23-year-old virgin, do I have no hope? No, you're fine. Litecoin or Bitcoin? Definitely Bitcoin. What do you think about the National Socialists and Fascists who love you and all? I wish they weren't. I wish they wouldn't be National Socialists and Fascists, but I'm glad they love me. Do you think Sandy Hook was a false flag? Yes. The ThinkPad's gone. I smashed it because it shocked me when I was unplugging it. So I have a Dell now. It's terrible, but Windows 7 on both computers. What do you think about antidepressants? I think antidepressants are a great way to absolutely destroy your brain forever. Do you take fish oil? No, but I should. I will start doing that soon. Do you have intense body odor? No, I have. I was told by an Eastern mystic woman with a very sensitive sense of smell. She asked me what cologne I was wearing, and I said that I wasn't wearing any. And she said that my natural body odor smelled like a god. How many Pokeballs can you fit up your beehole? Thanks, man. You say you hate New York City, and that's reasonable. How do you like Boston? I think Boston's a little bit better, but I'm not a city guy. But Boston's definitely better. It's not. The people are kind of the college kids there are annoying. College kids are annoying anywhere, but they're not like totally in love with themselves and obsessed with themselves like Brooklynites are. Have you ever done speed? No. Believe in God? No. My depressed friend spends all day inside posting sympathy bait on his Tumblr. How do I help him? Probably honestly beat him up. Like maybe you might have to like physically hurt him to get him out of that. I don't know. Thoughts on Elliot Rodgers' manifesto and ideology? Elliot Rodgers is the ultimate beta male pussy. I like Stefan Molyneux's video about Elliot Rodgers. I think Elliot Rodgers is a big time product of like fucked up family and like negligent, abusive women. How many tins of Skol Wintergreen do you jam into your gums on a daily basis? So that's the Skol budget here is kind of high. how was the meeting with Weave? Tell us about it. I like Weave. I like hackers. I only talked to him for a little bit, but I think the hacking stuff is cool. Do you look for funny content or just make it? I just make it. I honestly, I don't look at any comedy online. I can't watch it. It makes me sick, and also I don't want to like inadvertently rip anything off. Stefan Molyneux is a bald libertarian dad who jerks off in frustration. Yeah, probably. If Chris Dorner came back, would you stand by him and cleanse Ferguson? I would stand by Chris Dorner. Probably not. Probably not. I probably wouldn't be there with him, helping him reload. Definitely not. I'm not referring to the Ferguson thing, but I would stand by Chris Dorner no matter what he chose to do. Should I ask my 3 male roommates if they want to fuck me? Yeah. Beta Boys Autism Support Group. Beta Boys Autism Support Group. Friend relapsed on heroin, age 24. How do I help? Do I beat him up? I don't know, man. Heroin's pretty tricky. Probably should just like lock him in a closet and whip him with nails. I don't know. I have no idea how you come back from relapsing on heroin. Is pornography good or bad, and if so, how bad or good? It's definitely. I don't think it's bad like morally, but it's definitely bad for you from a personal health standpoint. The less of it you watch, the better. Numerous friends of mine, mostly girls, have become extreme social justice warriors. Where'd that one go? I lost that comment. Oh yeah, extreme social justice warriors who browse Tumblr. How do I mitigate this? You probably need to get new friends. Do you find your own material funny, funnier than you think the fans find it? No, but there are certain aspects where I laugh a lot harder than anyone else would. Have any police contacted you for anything you've done? Yeah, that was the yeah, they have. What advice would you give to a NEET with useless art degree trying to break into the media world? I don't know. It's a tough spot to be in, man. That sucks. I would probably just play video games. Oh shit. Oh, are they still there?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Phil kept telling me to do like obnoxious things.
I'll bounce in a minute here. Stefan Molyneux style MRA philosophy or Anita Sarkeesian style feminism? Both. Have you ever jerked off standing up? If so, how does it compare to laying down and jerking? I did stand up. I did jerk off standing up overlooking the Hollywood freeway. One of the times that we were in LA, and it was pretty exciting. Is autist the funniest insult on the internet? It's pretty good. It's a good one. It makes me laugh every time. Is your favorite battle cry in Dota give him the ring? No, it would be hit him with the whip would be my favorite. That's from Phil. Hit him with the whip. How do you feel about your mainly 13-year-old fan base? I wish it were a manly 13-year-old fan base. Any plans for more writers meet videos? Yeah, but they're hard to film though. I will suck your wiener just because you're awesome. Did you personally know somebody whose life was screwed up by weed? Everybody I know who's used weed probably would go back and I don't know. It's damaged everyone that I've seen use it. No, I never heard of Ashley Jones. What is the meaning of life? The point to this cold, dark existence. The meaning of life, you have to sort of generate that for yourself, and it is sort of an insane thing to sort of trick yourself into thinking that there's meaning to life. Because ultimately, if you want to get real logical, you could use your Asperger's logic to come to the conclusion that we're just bugs and that we're just going to be dead anyway, and there's no point to life. So you have to sort of come to that conclusion for yourself. Just pick something that you like and try it on. Do you have any pets? No, I had a dog, Sissy, who was in that video, but she was killed by a negligent veterinarian in some unfortunate circumstances. Let's see. If you could wipe any music artist from the face of existence, who would it be? If it were a secret wiping, like if it deleted their whole history, probably Notorious B.I.G. Fuck. And if it were wiping, like someone knew, like everyone knew that I was wiping them out, the artist, I'd probably wipe out Eminem, just because it would be funny to like. I'm the guy that wiped out Eminem from the face of existence. It would just be funny. What's the deal with Joe Rogan? Why'd you want to kill him in the RT video? That's because I think it's really funny that Joe Rogan is as popular as he is. Like I really like him a lot, but he's there's just something so fucking funny about the fact that he's as popular as he is. It's just funny, and it just seems like a funny guy to like make a video and be like, I want to be famous, so I'm gonna kill that guy. Like, there's just something funny about that. Like, I don't know, Joe. I'm gonna kill Joe Rogan. Just like a funny guy. Just say it. Try it yourself. It's funny. Would you ever consider having sex with a woman? Depends. You have to be really slow and careful with me. If you got a girl pregnant, would you marry her or run away? I'd run away. Sam, are you a big guy? No, I'm 5'8". Where did MDE meet each other? I know you worked with Nick. Nick's cousin was my best friend in college. I went to Nick he needed a website. I ended up not doing the website, and we just talked about comedy all night. We decided to get in with each other. And then a few years later, Charles was Nick's childhood friend, and we just started hanging out and getting it going. Are you really 23? No. Do you watch your old vids that no one has seen? Yeah, I like going back and seeing. There's some things that people don't think are funny that I think are super funny. I like to look. What do you think about marriage? Big mistake. Bad idea. What do you think about Magic the Gathering? I think the cards are cool, and we're making a card game soon. I like Magic the Gathering. I think it's cool. Did you ever suffer social anxiety? Yeah, of course. Self-conscious about wearing horn-rimmed glasses? No. Will you fart in my mouth and stain my tongue green? Yeah, man. Thoughts on Reggie Watts? He's a fucking queer. Reggie Watts is a big, plump, chubby, he's a fucking loser. Reggie Watts is a loser. I'm 6'4", actually. How many toques do you own? Probably 20. But they always go missing. Who exactly touched your chocolates? Why do you think antidepressants destroy your brain? On one at the moment still. Not much luck, considering taping off. Maybe I'm aware of something. I don't know, man. It's just bad. It's just bad. That's my opinion. It's kind of, I guess it's, I don't know what to tell you if you haven't noticed anything different. Holy oh. Are you self-conscious about anything? No, I purged that a long time ago. Do you wish for a thicker beard? Yeah, I'm self-conscious about it. Are you tranny? Yes. Do you think white people can experience racism? Yes, every day. Thoughts on heritability of IQ? I think you don't have to have an opinion about that. It's scientific. Just fucking look up the data about heritability of IQ. Are you joking me? Everything else is heritable. IQ is not heritable. Are you fucking idiot? Yeah, heritability affects your facial structure, your musculature, your diseases, every possible thing, but nah, genes don't influence IQ. IQ has nothing to do with evolution. Don't worry about it. Nah, it's not heritable. It's environment. If you grow up in a smart place, you grow up smart. If you grow up in a place where there's no money, you grow up stupid. That's the way it works. That's the way IQ works. Is it based on richness? If you have rich surroundings, you become high IQ and you get the more money. But if you don't have the high IQ, if you're not rich around you, you're poor, you're low IQ. That's why we need to have this communism. Where can I get cheap inversion tables? You can go on Amazon. You can get the Iron Man for $100, and that includes shipping. You seem to rebelliously neglect your personal hygiene. Why is that? Just because I don't have a smoothly shorn face? Fuck. So if genes influence IQ, could blacks be genetically inferior intellectually? Maybe they could be more intellectual. Maybe they could be genetically superior. Okay, Fuzzy Dunlop? Get your head out of the racism gutter. Do you hate ASMR? No, it's fine. Love it. I love ASMR. Have you ever played MMOs? I mean, probably for a few hours I tried them out. I think it's, oh my god, man. I love. I recently tried to buy Diablo 2, like pay money for it, like give someone money for it. And the website, finding how to buy Diablo 2 on the Blizzard website, it took me about 10 minutes to find the buy page. And in that time, I saw all the World of Warcraft things. Like you can pay like $60 or $40 or something to temporarily boost your level to level 60. There was so much crazy stuff, man. Oh my god. How important to stand up is connecting with the audience? I wouldn't know. How can you purge yourself of self-consciousness and insecurity? It's a long process. Probably got to lift weights. You probably got to make an ass of yourself publicly. How do you feel about the Tyler Bowl-cut video getting 100,000 views on a re-upload account and possibly getting loads of subscribers thinking it's actually your real account? Nothing could make me happier. Does your mother love you? Yes. Thoughts on Alex Jones? He's just a blowhard. I don't know much about him though. He's probably really smart. He's probably cool. Are chemtrails real? Yes. Do you have a sibling? I have a stepbrother who's a fucking homo. His name's William Moreland. He's a homo. Thoughts on Kanye West? Kanye West is garbage, man. He's so bad. He's got good beats, though. I like his beats. Thoughts on 9/11, Inside Job? You said before that you like D-Block. What is your favorite song? Hard to pick. There are so many hitters from D-Block. All the mixtape ones. I'm not too big on their album stuff. They're polished, produced albums. I like the mixtapes. They got some hitters, though. I'm not sure how to pick the best one. There's one called The Problem. Nah, there's a lot. There's too many. They're too good. Are you ever going to fix your forum on MDE.tv? We did that on purpose. I paid someone on a Black Hat SEO website to get that full of spam because it's funny. I don't want people on an MDE forum. That's kind of, I don't want that. Thoughts on MF Doom and his message? I don't know about his message. I like MF Doom though. He's good. I don't listen to enough of him to know about his message though. How could things possibly get better, even given some sort of leap in technology? They're going to get much better, man. Don't worry. Nanomachines, artificial intelligence, we're either going to be all dead or we're going to be all fucking playing Dota all day, having a good time. Do you get nervous around young black men? Yes. My black friends are getting sick of my racist jokes. How am I going to keep them? Try to be more sensitive and don't say racist jokes around your black friends. Are you a robe or a towel guy? Towel. Are you a loser? Yes. Do you read recreationally? A little bit, not as much as I would like to, but I don't really have time. But yes, I'm currently reading the Salman Rushdie book. What's that book called?
I don't know.
The Muslim Freakout book. And before that, I read Philip K. Dick, Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. Are you aware Anthony Fagtano is publicly wanking you off in his vids? Yeah, someone sent me a clip of that, but I couldn't watch more than 5 seconds of it. It was weird. Thoughts on the new Flying Lotus? I don't like Flying Lotus. Are you unhappy? No, I'm neither. I answered this earlier. I'm neither happy nor unhappy. What are your lips made of? Made of bubble gum. Oh shit! Leave that. You gotta leave that in. I'll get in. All right, I gotta go. I gotta go, you guys. Is Okonkwo in there?
Yeah. Okay, he's got to pick the hit because that's his deal.
Sam, I'm being molested by my teacher at school. What should I do? I'm homeschooled, by the way. Fuck, man. Is fashion necessary? Yes. How do you feel about the discomfort you've caused people in the name of your comedy? Hey, it's the truth. You shouldn't be discomforted by it, man. My email is alien mode, but don't send me like random. Hey, how many whales can you fit in your house? Don't send me that shit, please. Just email me if you need to email me, but don't email me crap, man. How do you support yourself? How many penises have you touched aside from your own? What is your stance on the Jewish question? Why do you avoid questions about Zionism? Where's the close button on this thing? Fuck, come on. I gotta get out of here. They're coming for me. They're coming for me. Jewish questions need Jewish answers in Jewish times. Should I experiment with my cousin?